Hokage Hatake Glory, Chapter 281-300. Text Chapter 281 _ Shadow Coming from Afar. Sister Tsunade, haha Tsunade sister. Holding the information in his hand and shouting, Lu Meng was so excited that he couldn't help himself. They are all right, Hinata, Enko, Tamari are all right. Heihei168.com hahaha they are all right. They're okay, I'm okay. How long are you going to hold me? The sun is so round today. Sister, is there a time when the sun is not round? I don't know, that kid is so daring, he dares to take advantage of Tsunade-sama. I feel like he will be killed. Hope he can see the moon tomorrow. The knuckles of both hands rattled, and he shrugged his head radiantly. Just as he was about to hug his head and run away, a slender finger hit his forehead. Bang! Forgive you first this time, bastard. Shizune. Karen. Senior sister, did I hear it wrong? Master she. This is so unlike Princess Tsunade's character. Tsunade Haim's bold and coquettish smile with black eyes. Shizune Uzumaki Karen Kato had the urge to transfer to a Spartan berserker. Sister, will my brother be there? Hinata, don't worry, the 5 Shadows talks will be held in the 3 Wolf Mountains. We will go there and wait for the rabbit. We will definitely catch him, then I will beat him 8 times a day. Giggle, Sister Enko, you are just talking about it. Interesting academy. Tamari, don't you want to deal with him? Of course I do. Tamari smiled sweetly. However, I would prefer to clean him up in bed. You little pervert. Sister Enko, I seem to have heard someone shouting something last night. Tamari's teasing mouth. Enko snorted with a pretty face. Hinata's little secretary bowed her head shyly, and the 3 girls walked out of the restaurant after playing around. In the shadows of the streets and alleys, 2 guys with masks on their heads looked at each other, and the shadows disappeared. Mizukage-sama, should we hurry up? If we choose again, we will delay the time of the meeting. What's the hurry? Just let those guys wait. Putting a daffodil print jacket on her body, Terumi Mei sneered. Anyway, our village of Kurigakure suffered heavy losses, with 2-tailed beasts. It's gone. Akatsuki has nothing to do with us. No matter how much trouble Akatsuki causes, it's them who should be worried. Although it is true to say so, but if we do this, will we be affected by other hidden villages? After all, the current strength of the village. Ow, your worries are too much. They won't have time to pay attention to us. Akatsuki is the real enemy. Besides, what are we Kurigakure worth their prying eyes? Don't forget there is a Konoha. Compared with the land of water, that's where the real fat is. Terumi Mei couldn't help but feel angry when she recalled the practice of the promotion committees of the hidden villages and gaming houses in various countries some time ago. Now I want to talk. I wanted to go north earlier. You can wait and go. My mother has to choose a few more clothes. Speaking of which, the little friend doesn't know what to do anymore. I hope he's fine. Grandpa, hurry up. Grandpa, you are too slow. Grandpa. Kuritsuchi yo, can you not call Grandpa? Then what do I call you Grandpa? Old man, or old man. Okay, you'd better call me Grandpa. Big Yuhi saw sweat on his nose and stroked his head speechlessly. In 2 days, Onoki was about to be annoyed by his own granddaughter. Oh my old waist, I am a lot of age, and I still have to travel such a long way. Lord Tsuchikage, why is the 5 Shadows talks held in the Iron Country? Is it fun there? It's the first time I've walked this far. I feel so excited. HMPH, that hellish place doesn't make any sense at all. Turning his head and squinting at the hill-like terracotta, Tsuchikage, the 3rd generation of Tsuchikage, who grinned and caressed his waist, said with sweat on his forehead, the country of iron is a neutral country, and because of the mutual distrust of the 5 major forces, it is also a reasonable thing to choose there. The Ghost Land does not allow ninjas to do it, and it is the last country that survived from the samurai era. Quote. Is there still a kingdom dominated by samurai? 3rd generation Tsuchikage nodded, as if Kei was caught in some kind of memory. I heard from the master that the era of samurai was also glorious. Before the ninja ancestor Six Paths invented ninjutsu, they ruled the entire continent, and only on Myoji can cooperate with they compete against each other. But because the number of people is too small, they can only be reduced to a foil. Although the people are high, their power cannot keep up with these guys. Sounds like a good deal. HMPH, top-level samurai are of great interest, but ordinary samurai are just trash fish, otherwise we won't be able to become the masters of our ninjas. Low-level samurai are cannon fodder, and high-level samurai are not much better than cannon fodder. Now the country of iron is said to be samurai. The kingdom doesn't use chakra, it's just selling dog meat. There are no pure warriors in today's continent, and I have to say that only the deceased Konoha White Fang is barely number one. Konoha White Fang. Both Kitu and Kuretsuchi were a little confused, such an ancient name was too vague for them. Three Wolf Mountain. The top of the pyramid is divided into 5 layers, and the continuous snowstorm has wrapped the whole mountain in the silver dress. One by one ultra-modern warriors were wearing armor with their waists and swords crossed, and even their heads were wrapped in full-cover helmets. At first glance, they felt cold all over their bodies. For the first time, I'm Kazekage Gaara, the 5th generation. Gaara said hello to the samurai approaching by slightly lowering her scarf to reveal her entire face. The head of the samurai with a twill wrapped around the head with a collapsing belt and apologized slightly. I made you wait for the 5th generation of Kazekage-sama for a long time. I am the general of the Iron Kingdom, Mifune. Hey, don't be so serious, okay? It's already cold enough. Seeing you as cold as this place is like 2 worlds compared to the land of wind. Ha. Dear guest, please, we have already prepared hot tea. As soon as the serious expression was retracted, Mifune led Gaara and his party inside. Maki gave his apprentice an angry look. Kanjuro, pay attention to the influence when you go out. Teacher, aren't the elderly people so rigid? Just having a meeting, why are they so nervous? No matter how nervous they are, they won't die. Dead, really dead. Sasuke, are you really going to do it at this time? By these cursed eyes, Shimura Danzo must die. Reaching out his hand and stroking the slowly closed pupils, Ursuke shook off his cloak and smashed the snow. The first update today, the cloud is working hard. Text Chapter 282-Eagle Flying High. We agree with your nomination and recognize Might Guy as the 6th generation Hokage. Interesting academy. Okay, since the staff agrees, let's stamp it. Squinting at his 5 officials, the big name nodded and put down the folding fan. Achieved his goal, Nara Shikaku breathed a sigh of relief, met Hyuga Hiyashi's eyes a few times, and looked at the 2 advisors. Kaharu Udatane Homura Mitokado sat there with a blank face, neither disapproving nor agreeing, just like 2 coffin boards. Your Majesty, since the Hokage candidate has been decided, should you send a letter to the various countries immediately? The sooner the candidate is determined, the better the peace of mind. Well, you're right, come here, let Might Guy become the 6th generation Hokage to all countries. Wait, seeing Shikong bowing and stepping back, Shikaku said quickly, other countries are not busy first, and the Kingdom of Iron must be as soon as possible. You are. Shimura Danzo and Might Guy are both rushing to the 5 Shadows talks. The conspirators want to establish the established fact, he escaped from the village. Coldly at the 2 advisors, Nara Shikaku's gaze was extremely unkind. After leaving the village with Danzo, Kaharu Udatane Homura Mitokado, who went to live in the daimyo prefecture, was a bit unnatural. Daming looked at the 2 old things and frowned, but in the end he didn't say anything. The written letter is stamped with the national seal and sent to the quartet. It is not in a hurry for the famous name of the country, and it is escorted by a fast horse, and it is much simpler for the hidden village. Release the eagle. A few eagle calls fluttered its wings, and the letter eagle that flew to the sky disappeared into the clouds in a blink of an eye. Danzo, who didn't know that the fire in the backyard was still alive, entered the Iron Country first to meet Mifune, and Ni entered the lounge. Interesting academy. The two met, Gaara and Kankuro's faces sank. This old guy's hat, he's Konoha's new Hokage. Don't underestimate him, Kanjuro. Deep cold sweat slid down his face, compared to the ignorance of the two disciples, Maki new people. It's an honor to meet you, Lord Kazekage of the 5th generation, and my husband is Hokage Shimura Danzo of the 6th generation. Huang Sha, who was standing in front of Shula, stopped their gazes, and Gaara's heart tightened quietly. I'm sorry, I don't have the habit of shaking hands with people, I'm rude. Turning to leave without mentioning Hokage's name, Shimura Danzo's face darkened. After returning to the lounge and closing the door, Kankuro Maki's eyes immediately came over. Just now. Sand is in an automatic defensive stance. That guy is very dangerous. That's right, Maki said with a long sigh. Shimura Danzo is a sinister and cunning person. During World War II, he used many vicious hands. Not only against the enemy, but also against his own people. He once used dozens of ninjas, bringing hostile troops into the canyon and then burying them with a lot of detonators as a real lunatic. Quote. How could it do this? Although Kankuro is not a good person, but doing such a thing with his own life is too much. Maki took a deep look at his beloved disciple. That guy's hands and tails are very clean, and the people who were killed by him didn't even have a place to reason. Because of this, the 3 generations of Hokage can ascend to the top. This is what Chiyo mother-in-law told us. Yes, her old man once said that you must be more careful when you encounter this person. Mother-in-law Chiyo. Gaara was lost in thought with her hands folded in front of her. Danzo-sama, do you want it? Danzo, who was sitting in the shadow, raised his eyelids. Don't act rashly without my order. Just a kid, even if he has some strength to become a shadow, he will not be able to do it due to his age. Mature, let him live a little longer. Ninjas are in the world of ascetic practice, and they should be unknown. But only by controlling the inside and outside of the country can the country and the village be stable. The success of this meeting just shows the edge of the old man as a Hokage. There is nothing to say about the location. This era must and can only belong to me. Quote. Ah-oh. Changuro, are you okay? Why don't you give the big swords to Ching? I'm okay, Mizukage-sama, but I'm a little bit flustered. Come and let me see. He bowed his head and lowered his forehead to test the temperature, and Terumi Mei's concern made Chojuro dizzy. Ching's face turned pale as he watched from the side. Mizukage-sama, you dote on the younger generation too much. As a ninja, how can you be like this? Look at the ninjas in the village today, it's just as good as one crop. If you change it to think back then. Ching, the era known as the Blood Mist Village has become a thing of the past, and the nightmare of the 4th generation of Mizukage has become a thing of the past, so don't mention that bad memory again. I'm sorry Mizukage-sama, I was not careful. Kankan patted the onion, outturned his head and trained Chojuro. What are you going to eat tonight? You should have finished ordering it. Senior, there are a lot of recipes. I haven't thought of them yet. I'm about to ask you and Mizukage-sama. Bastard. It's impossible to do such a simple thing. Today's young people are too lack of domineering, indecisive like a bitch. Girl. I'm sorry, senior, I'm going to prepare now. Embarrassed, he ran out of the house, and Changuro ran away without a shadow. Onion's head complained inexplicably, really, I think back then. Shut up, Ching, if you think about the past, I'll send you to think about it. Also, do you look down on girls? Ah, this isn't Mizukage-sama. What is that? Climbing up the snow-covered hillside with one deep foot and one shallow foot, Tsuchikage, the 3rd generation Tsuchikage with a nose through Yuhi, accidentally flashed his old waist again. Oh ah, it rolled into a snowball, and Kuretsuchi, who was walking in front, looked back, and quickly chased after him. Down. Grandpa, what's wrong with you, Grandpa? Grandpa, you've turned into a snowball, Grandpa, be careful, Grandpa. It's over, Grandpa is gone. Little junior sister, hurry up and dig out Lord Tsuchikage. Inside the big snowball that rolled into a 5-meter radius, the scale Onoki was snorting for 2 days, and when his granddaughter and his disciple took it out, his whole body was frozen. I'll just say it's not a good place, damn it, it's too slippery. Grandpa, you can use the flying Grandpa. Fly, yes, I can fly. Why don't I fly? Kuritsuchi. Grandpa, what's wrong with you, Grandpa? Kuritsuchi, you are really my granddaughter. Chapter 2, there will be 3 chapters today. Text chapter 283 _ the wind and clouds are rising, and the heroes from all over the world gather. You are free, QB 9 Tails, I hope we can be friends in the next life. Interesting Academy. Standing in front of the open prison door and waving freely, Naruto closed his eyes and faced death. Scene after scene crossed my mind, and suddenly I felt so peaceful. Maybe death is the real release. Sakura, Sasuke, boss. Everything is over, the soul sinks into the lake and waits for death, and Uzumaki Naruto opens his heart. In the dark spiritual sea, the vastness of the stars drifted everywhere, and it seemed that in a blink of an eye, it changed from black to white. Time passed in a blink of an eye for a long time, first, second, third, left and right, and Naruto, who didn't wait until death, opened his eyes strangely. The fox was still the same fox, and the father was still the same father. The man and the beast looked at each other there, as if they were still images in the camera. Naruto's doubtful eyes shone on him. QB 9 Tails, Fox yawned and waved his paws at the 4th Hokage. When you go, remember to close the door. QB 9 Tails, you. Damn boy, this old man doesn't want to go out now, I'm going to sleep for a while. The accident that happened shook his heart deeply, and Naruto was made wood by the words of QB 9 Tails. Didn't it always want to go out, why now? You really know what happened back then. Don't bother me here, it's rare to get a good night's sleep. QB 9 Tails Fox looked around for 4 generations, then turned to Naruto. Damn boy, since you're willing to let me out, I'll wait for you. Put it away when you die. With 2 paws folded in front of him as pillows, the QB 9 Tails Fox retracted back to overflowing chakra. Uzumaki Naruto is blinded, he is blinded, his father is not. Baidu Interesting Academy. That person was Madara back then. I said, don't come to bother the old man, that bastard is abominable, and you are not much better. The slightly opened beast pupil flashed through the cold light. QB 9 Tails Fox did not have any good impression on the 4th generation Hokage. What are you all talking about? The 4 generations of Hokage who play dumb riddles and the unexplained QB 9 Tails Fox, 1 person and 1 beast are silent. If you don't solve him, you won't be safe even if you hide here. Naruto is very dangerous now, and many tailed beasts have been captured. Those guys are idiots, don't think the old man thinks the same as them. QB 9 Tails Fox closed his eyes and waved his paws to chase people away. The 4th generation of Hokage opened his mouth to look at it like this. Naruto was anxious. What the hell are you talking about, please make it clear. Stinking fox, father, you guys. Damn boy, don't call me this old man again, the old man also has a name. You have a name too. Why, can't the tailed beast have a name? Naruto glared fiercely. QB 9 Tails wanted to slap him with a tail. Naruto smiled brightly. Then what's your name? You don't have the right to know right now, 4th Hokage. Take your troublesome son away. Don't forget to close the door, the old man doesn't want to be called out. The reclosed door was sealed. Naruto looked down at the seal on his stomach, and then looked at the door that was not suppressed by the spell, and his head was full of question marks. Son, I have something to tell you. Captain Yamato, Naruto him. The power of the tailed beast is too strong. If it is used when its own strength is insufficient, it will not only lose its self-consciousness, but also damage itself. This situation occurs in every village, and they call it a runaway. If it wasn't for Raikage-sama this time help, I can't control Naruto. Don't you have a Mokuden wood style? My Mokuden wood style. Rotten wood. Thinking of Raikage's undisguised disdain evaluation, Yamato Tianzang shook his head brightly. My ability is to suppress 6 tails at best. He already showed the talent of 8 tails at that time. I can't just rely on me. When will Naruto wake up? Sakura, it's up to him. The misty drizzle poured down on the dark entrance of the cave, and Yakushi Kabuto, who pushed open the door, looked at the main seat. Kimimaro, you're sure to keep waiting. Don't tell me these useless nonsense again. I can feel that your lord is not dead yet, and God will not die. If you want to leave, go away. I will continue to protect everything about your lord until your lord returns again. But Orochimaru-sama is dead, those things. Shut up, Kabuto, if you dare to curse your lord, I will take your life. Kimimaro, you have to recognize the reality. He slightly pulled back his cape to reveal half of his face covered with snake scales. Kimimaro was slightly taken aback when he saw Yakushi Kabuto's appearance. I'm going to continue the road that Orochimaru-sama has not finished. You have to remember that your status in my heart is no lower than yours. In comparison, I'm the one who is closer to you. Kabuto, you go, we choose different paths. Silently closing his eyes and not talking, Kimimaro restrained his surging killing intent. Seeing that the persuasion was fruitless, Kabuto turned around and opened the door. When he left, he turned back and reminded, Uchiha Sasuke has already rushed to the 5 Shadows meeting. Don't use your clumsy tactics again. As I said, I'll stay here and wait for your return. You can do whatever you want, but don't touch your things. There is nothing worth moving here. Raising his hand to touch the cold snake scales, Yakushi Kabuto pulled on Yuhi's Leonmao cloak and walked into the darkness. Let's go, we're going to make the world feel the pain. Standing in the midst of the ruins and looking back, the purple-black Rinnegan of Heavenly Path Pain is full of killing intent. He destroyed Kurigakure, destroyed Konoha, but also destroyed the lair. God's will cannot be resisted, and since they have gathered together, they will be resolved together. Ghost Shark, Konan, Ju, Ah-Fei, Akatsuki and Yuhi's robe of fire clouds embarked on the journey. Where did Deidara go? He's looking for Uchiha Sasuke. What does that kid want to do? Maybe it's the reason of Itachi. He wants to find Sasuke to prove his worth and call him back. Forget it. Heavenly Path Pain continued to move forward step by step. Everyone has everyone's beliefs, and with his temperament, he won't come back at this time. Ha ha ha. Got you. Art is a blast. The third update, there are still 2 chapters, and the cloud will be updated before 7 o'clock. Brothers and sisters, please leave a message if you have any comments. I wish you all a happy 1010 and a love without regrets. Text chapter 284_ a small sickle in one hand and a broken straw hat on the head. Lord Hokage, you have to go out so late. Ah, so sleepy. Sharingan, slightly exposed under the bandage, turned twice. Shimura Danzo and the 2 guards left the gate. Heihei168.com. In the shadows, a strange eyeball disappeared. What did they want to do when they leave at this time? Gaara, what happened? It's Shimura Danzo. She retracted the sand eyes and opened her eyes. For some reason, Gaara suddenly had a bad premonition in her heart. Maybe, we should follow the past. After brushing, 3 figures stopped by the road and bowed and stood still. Samui, Karui, and Omoi, 2 men and 1 woman, looked at the 4th-generation Raikage who came not far away. My lord, I have finished the task. Have you got the information about the Uchiha brothers? Yeah, but Konoha seems to be hiding something, and the information we got is not complete. Humph. As expected, there are always so many dirty things between villages. Samui, you're being followed, shouted the guard standing behind Raikage, suddenly looking forward. The 4th generation of Raikage was angry. Who is it? Get out of here. Mr. Yuhi was discovered. Aburame Shino pushed on his sunglasses, his eyes slightly puzzled. Inazuka Kiba probed to see and cut the sound. It's really troublesome. Logically speaking, we should not be exposed at such a distance. The one who speaks first is likely to be a perceptive ninja, and this kind of guy is the hardest to deal with. Heihei168.com. Perceptive. It's a hassle. Okay, you two, let's go out and say hello. A group of 3 people came from a distance, seeing Kurenai Yuhi and the 2 disciples behind him. The 4th generation Raikage's eyes widened. Sorry, we didn't mean to follow. What do you want? Ninjas of Konoha Hidden Village. As support, we're going to the 3 Wolf Mountains for the 5 Shadows talks. Also, we've brought this. Kurenai Yuhi looked very tired after a few days of rushing on the road. Out to take the scroll that was thrown into the air, the 4th generation Raikage had a visible chakra coat all over his body. Kurenai Yuhi smiled charmingly. You are really careful. In the ninja world, everyone who is not careful will die. The brush unrolled the scroll and looked at it, and the 4th Raikage was thrown back. The 6th generation of Hokage from your village is behind, and the Kyubi 9 Tails Jinchuriki column force, don't follow us anymore. Shasha's footsteps left half-finger-deep footprints in the snow, and Karui angrily waved her fist at Kurenai Yuhi and others. Lord Raikage, these guys Konoha are horrible. Karui, as a Kumogakur ninja, you have to learn to use your fists instead of complaining. That is the behavior of the weak. Only powerful ninjas will be respected, and this is the same between villages. Humans' history is also the history of war. After the Third Ninja World War, no matter which country or village gets powerful ninjutsu, it will invade other countries. This is the truth of the ninja world. Quote. In order to get the blood of the Hyuga family back then, I didn't take it for granted. They still have to send people over to Lousy. Why? It's not because Lousy's fist is hard enough. Remember, as a ninja, you must first learn to wave your fists, and the second is to play with your tongue. If your fists are hard enough, whether your tongue can speak or not is second. Quote. With a cold snort and a look back at the lecture, the 4th generation of Raikage made Kurenai Yuhi half dead. Teacher, that nasty guy. Kiba, don't be impulsive, what he said is right, the ninja world really respects strength. He said this to demonstrate to the village through us. With 2 major losses in a row, our village's position as the head of the 5 kingdoms has been shaken. Mr. Yuhi, you mean, they will. Shino, you're very smart, but it's too young to see things. Akatsuki's existence is not lucky for Konoha, although it has brought us heavy damage, it has also brought us stability. At least, as long as its threat exists for one day, the land of thunder will not easily go south. Quote. Deep look at the direction where Raikage and the others were going. Kurenai Yuhi brought the 2 disciples together with Might Guy and the others. The icy cold wind whistled across the forest and the snowy plains, and Gaara, who was behind Danzo and the others, narrowed his panda eyes. What do they want to do when they are so far away so late? The bonfires were lit to drive away the cold wind from the outside, and Anko, Tamari, and Hinata rubbed their hands around the fire. Dudu, who was summoned to start the fire, curled up and bit his tail, looking at Anko full of resentment. Little kitten, don't pretend to be pitiful with me anymore, this place is a little colder, it's better than you go back and be beaten. I'd rather go back and be beaten than freeze here, I'm used to it anyway. Yo, little kitten, I haven't seen you for a few days, and you have a good temper. Don't bully the cat, aim. Sister Anko. Hinata doesn't have to plead for it, this guy just needs to be cleaned up. Who tossed Dudu with both hands like kneading dough, pulled his face and scratched his tail, and watched Tamari Hinata with a waterfall of sweat. Just as the little kitten couldn't stop struggling and wailing, a little straw man slipped in silently from the entrance of the hole. The little grass person is not tall, with 2 knives in his hands, and a small kabuto hat on his head, looking evil and chilling. Hinata, who felt the sharpest, turned his eyes and fixed on this odd little thing. Has it been discovered? Hyuga's Byakugan is really troublesome. A small sickle in one hand flew out, and the little grass man jumped high and kicked out his little feet. His legs made of hose flashed coldly and went straight to the front door. Where's the weird thing coming from? Let me die. The scythe that was drawn to the neck was caught with his hand and thrown back, and Enko suddenly froze in place. The little grass figurine stared at by the scythe flew upside down and fell far away, and there was no movement after a few somersaults. The little kitten rubbed Enko's wrist twice. Tamari walked over and picked it up. Very strange. What the hell is this? A villain made of straw, with a piece of white paper stuck to the door, and a piece of ragged linen on his body. Turning on Byakugan and looking around, Hinata, who could not find any trace of the enemy, was stunned. There are no enemies. With a radius of 1 kilometer, there are no enemies in the sky and the ground. Where did this strange grass man come from? The next update volume. I hope everyone likes it. It is estimated that it will be updated before 7 o'clock, 5 chapters today. Text chapter 285 _ create difficulty without difficulty. What on earth are they trying to do? Watching Danzo and his party from a distance through the eye of sand, Gaara had doubts in his heart. Interesting academy. That man was carried by his companions from the very beginning. What happened? Karen, are you sure you feel Enko's scent? Damn, you have asked many times, are you bothered? I'm not in a hurry, Sister Karen. I'm going to call you Mother Sama. Uzumaki Karen cocked his chest proudly. Liamong looked at her with a dark face, and suddenly asked, do you weigh 100 pounds? What does this ask for? Just tell me if you have any. I'm not that fat. Karen pulled back her bright yuhi-colored hair and smiled like a flower. But the next moment, she couldn't smile anymore. Little girl is young, and she still wants to be a mother when she looks back. Brother, I kindly teach you something today. A woman weighs less than 100, and she is either flat-chested or short. Liamong words landed, Shizune Tsunade burst out laughing. Karen's little face, yuhi in white, black in yuhi, black and blue, all turned into cyan. You bastard. What jerk am I? You're an asshole. Little girl, you can't talk nonsense, it has a scientific basis. Some time ago Tsunade used the words to make fun of himself backhand, and Liamong glanced at Karen with a smile. I don't believe you can compare with your teacher and sister, just look at how much they weigh, and you know where your meat is missing. Damn you bastard. What's wrong with my flat chest? I'm flat-chested and I'm proud. Silver Kiba clenched his fists, and Karen was half dead alive. In fact, after all, her breasts are not small, but, in front of Senju Tsunade and Kato Shizune. Heihei168.com. Not to mention Tsunade Haim, the big cow that kills the world in seconds, she can't even compare to Shizune, even though Shizune is not big, but who makes people 3-7 or 3-7. Not afraid of not knowing the goods, but afraid of comparing goods. People are more dead than people, and goods are thrown away. When Karen and Tsunade Shizune compete, they are half depressed on the spot. Big bad guy, you wait for me. Lord Rakage, welcome to the country of iron as a guest. Greeting from a distance, the general of the country of iron, Mifune, greeted him. Fourth Rakage smiled and waved his fist. Long time no see, you are still the same. Hee, you too. Anyone here? The 5th generation Kazekage Gaara came first, then the 6th generation Hokage Shimura Danzo. Danzo told you he was Hokage. Lord Rakage, is there any problem? Mifune was stunned when he heard that the words were wrong. As the person in charge of the 5 shadows talk, if he made the wrong person, he would be embarrassed, which would seriously affect the reputation of the Iron Country. The 4th generation Rakage's mustache shook. As far as I know, now the 6th generation Hokage of Konoha has been confirmed as Might Guy, and Shimura Danzo is only Hokage's choice. He didn't tell you clearly. This bastard. His eyes suddenly burst with murderous intent. Mifune suppressed his anger and apologized. I'm sorry, Lord Rakage, I'm going to be disrespectful. Guard, take Lord Rakage to the lounge, and I want to meet Shimura Danzo in person. Turning around and lowering his head, Maikwan and his 5 fingers firmly grasped the hilt of the sword at his waist. In the wind and snow, his eyes were as sharp as a sword. Knock on the door. Bang bang bang. Bang bang bang. Keep knocking. The 2 consecutive knocks were fruitless, and the accompanying samurai stepped up their efforts. The 3 boatmen, whose face became darker as he listened, waved, lifted his foot and kicked over. Inside the open door, there was not even a ghost. Contact the information department immediately. In 5 minutes, I want to know their movements. With an old face in black, he held his sword and turned around. The anger in Maikwan's heart surged higher and higher. Lee, let's set off towards the rising sun. It's Mr. Guy, my blood is boiling. Lee. Mr. Guy. Lee. Guy, are you crazy enough? The pretty face turned black and overflowing with murderous intent. Kurenai Yuhi, who was woken up, bit the kiba pass tightly. They're all Hokage people, and you're still so out of tune, you howl in the middle of the night. What? Yuhi, youth should be full of motivation. We have already lost a lot of time. Hurry up and hurry up. Hurry up at this time. Open your eyes and see what time it is now. You are going out at 2 o'clock, can you see clearly? He took out his pocket watch and slammed it towards the door. Kurenai Yuhi ate Guy's heart. Might Guy caught the pocket watch and raised a thumb. It is precisely because we can't see clearly that we have to overcome difficulties. How can Hokage be stumped by such a problem? Mr. Guy, you are so great, I adore you. Lee, tell them our training slogan. If there is difficulty, you must go up, and if there is no difficulty, you must go up. Kurenai Yuhi. 10-10. Yamato Tenzo. The 2 mental illnesses. I shouldn't have followed. It also gives people a rest. Kiba, I want to kill them. That's against the law. I know, but I just want to kill them. Don't be impulsive, Sakura, murdering Hokage is a big crime. It doesn't matter, anyway, the shadow in the village has died several times, and it is not bad for him. Standing up with deep resentment, Haruno Sakura raised her fist. Inazuka Kiba, Aburame Shino quickly stopped over. Sakura, don't get excited. I'm not excited. Sakura, don't be impulsive. I'm not impulsive. Pushing aside the companions who were blocking her, Haruno Sakura smiled gently. Don't worry, I'm neither excited nor impulsive, I just want to fuck them to death. Don't stop me, I can't take it anymore. For a full week, these 2 mentally ill get up in the middle of the night every day. They can't. Come on, Sakura, I'm with you, come on, kill them all. He threw his fists and kicked his feet vigorously, and Sakura Satoharu wildly shouted cheers. Come on, kill him and the world will be quiet. Yamato Tenzo. Kurenai Yuhi. Guy, look at all this shit you've done. Yuhi, this is youth. Youth has to be brave to challenge. Shino, Kiba, let go of Sakura. Lee, let's run for our lives towards youth. 1 step ahead for the teacher. Swoosh. There are still 2 chapters. Union works hard, and strives to send it out before 7 o'clock. Text Chapter 286 _ Sudden Encounter. The frigid wind was blowing through the harsh winter, and on the way to the snow country, several teams were rushing. Heihei168.com. Waking up early in the morning and taking 2 glances, the little kitten blinked suspiciously and jumped into Hanada's arms. Sister Anko, it's time for us to find Hukun. Okay, let's go to Fukun. After walking towards the door, he turned his head slightly. Tamari smiled and looked at Hanada. Sister, can you bring the bag for my sister? Sister Tamari. Blinking in astonishment, the little secretary got up and handed over the backpack. Walking out of the cave, they glanced at the fallen straw man almost casually, and the 3 women rushed towards Sanlang Mountain. The early morning gust of wind blew across the snowfield and rolled up pieces of crystal. Might Guy Lee rock 2 lunatics, whooping ghosts appeared in the distance. Sun, Lee, let's charge the sun. Yes, Mr. Guy. Lee. Mr. Guy. Lee. Guy, you idiot, the direction is wrong. The high-end Jiao drink passed through the heavy snow, and Kurenai Yuhi was about to die of anger. He is obviously a road idiot, but he still wants to run ahead, and he often leads the wrong way. This bastard, let's keep up. Lee, did you hear anything just now? Mr. Guy, I didn't hear you clearly. It's okay if you don't hear clearly, let's set off towards the Sun of Youth. Yes, Mr. Guy, my blood is boiling. Interesting Academy is the first release. Ow. I'm Might Guy, the blue beast of Konoha. Yes, little girl, do you need any help? The big beautiful eyes instantly turned round to look at the man who was running. Tamari gave Hinata a secret wink. Aha, girls, need help. Thank you for your kindness, we don't need it. Oh, this is so sad. Lee, let's go to sadness. Yes, Mr. Guy. Rumble threw off his strides and ran forward, running towards Might Guy, frowning his brush. Lee, among the three girls just now, who do you know? Mr. Guy, you didn't recognize them. Nonsense, how can the teacher not recognize it? Might Guy severely criticized the apprentice's mistake. This is a test for the teacher. That's it. Mr. Guy, I understand. Lee Rock stood at attention with his chest folded. One of them is the former Chunin examiner, Mitarashi Anko, the other is Hyuga Hinata from Class 8, and the other is Sunagaker. Village of Tamari. Quote. It's them. I said, why are you so familiar? Mr. Guy, what did you say? Ah, I didn't say anything for the teacher. Might Guy looked back at the blurred figure, regaining the look of a beast. Lee, let's go on. Yes, Mr. Guy. The two beasts that rumbled away faded out of the corner of his eyes, and Tamari thought about it and continued to move in a different direction. The early morning sun hit the ground, and the impatient Ray urged Karen, come on, there was a big snowstorm last night, they will definitely not come out too early, we must hurry up. Damn, can't you be a little later? Women get up too early and get old easily. Little girl thinks about getting old when she is old, and when you are older, you should be mature in advance. Bastard, can this be the same? Stop talking, get up and find someone for me. Grabbing the snow from the outside and stuffing it into the collar, Uzumaki Karen instantly frowned. You badass, big badass, rotten duck, rotten egg, I will get my revenge back, you wait. These two little guys have a great relationship. Tsunade-sama, where did you find it? Are they in a bad relationship? I looked fine. After fussing and packing, Karen stopped shortly after leaving the house. They've changed directions. Change direction. Yes, originally they went straight to Three Wolf Mountain, but now it's not good, there are still people in front of them. A strong unease filled his heart. Before Uzumaki Karen finished speaking, he was thrown on his back by Liamong. Guide the direction, hurry up. Northwest. The crunching footsteps stepped on the piled snow nest, and the little kitten suddenly jumped to the ground like its fur, and the tail pouted and screamed. What's the matter, two sisters? Sister Anko, do you think Fu-kun will come this time? Of course Fu-kun will come. Really? Samsung fan suddenly lifted up like a stick and slammed into the door. While Tamari made his move, Hinata also spread his hands. 8 trigrams 64 palms. The sudden appearance of the array was locked around, and the little secretary, whose body suddenly accelerated several times, rushed up. Who the hell are you and what did you do to Sister Anko? With a bang, the little secretary's sword finger pulled up the phantom, but within a few clicks, he was separated by 2 strong winds. The blade-like air knife slashed in front of him, and the broken strands of hair fluttered into the sky. Slowly looking up, the old immortal walking in the wind and snow, with a bandage under his jaw, how tired and crooked. Are you Shimura Danzo? Up Hinata and slowly backing away, Tamari glanced warily at Anko who fell to the ground. Seeing Danzo coming, Anko laughed. Gloomy and chilling. Wind, well done. Who the hell is she? Hee, she's Mitarashi Anko, just what? It's just that my subordinates control her body now. As for you, you will soon follow in her footsteps. Immortal, you are playing our husband, Kun's idea. You're very smart little girl, but unfortunately you didn't find the right man. The rotten wood is too sinful and must be executed. Today, I'll borrow the three of you. You're dreaming. The Samsung fan brush spread out to take precautions, and Tamari felt an uncontrollable chill in his heart. Liamong had mentioned this old pervert guy to them more than once, but now that she met her, she had no chance of winning. Danzo made his move. He simply threw a punch, and stabbed straight into the chest. With the speed and experience of a veteran, Tamari Hinata retreated again and again. He clearly had powerful moves, but he couldn't use it. Turbulent. The junior is the junior, let the old man be captured. There is another chapter, the update volume. The Cloud works hard, and strives to publish it before 7 o'clock. If it is really not possible, it will be later. Come on. Text chapter 287_ please forgive me, husband Kun. The light in his eyes flashed and he turned his sword. Who would have thought that Danzo would still be able to do this trick when he was old? Mobile phone reading is more convenient. m.heihei168.com bullying is shameless enough, and then resorting to such a lousy means, he wants faith not. Push, 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 it's a god push. Danzo's sword is no more than 3 feet long and no more than 2 fingers wide. It is said to be a sword. In fact, it is more like a slightly flat awl with sharp edges on both sides that can be used for slashing, but the real powerful attack method is stabbing. So this old guy is stabbed crazy, and the stab is really windy. 2 strands of golden hair fluttered toward the snow, and Tamari, who had blood on his cheeks, widened his pupils. If she was more accurate just now, as long as she was more accurate, she would be finished. Did the old guy on the opposite side shoot wide? Impossible, this is definitely not a missed shot, he wants to catch it alive. Suddenly woke up in my mind and clenched the Kiba pass. Princess Sunagakure was ruthless. 430 inches, but you dare not kill me, this is where you can use it. Hinata, let's go. The Samsung fan brush was unfolded as a shield. Tamari formed a fingerprint behind, and the little secretary who knew she needed time to prepare jumped into the air. Ren Shengshi pressed the little hand out. 8 trigrams. Suddenly pressing down on the chakra dance, a roar sounded from the side of the slightly sideways body. Hyuga's gentle fist, that's all. Wait, what is that? Spiritualism, when will the Hyuga's family become psychic? Only C-rank psychics can be learned by a ninja. But without a powerful psychic beast, learning is for nothing. Even a powerful ninja like Kakashi only raised 8 dogs. And a big monster like the legendary Sanin will always be a legend. Hai Shuyu Shenwei. Spirituality Morning Dew. A sudden burst of white clouds and mist, an elegant figure sang loudly, and Danzo's eyes suddenly changed color. Heihei168.com. Hinata's psychic beasts are not big, and they are completely incomparable with the toads of Mount Myoboku, the poisonous snakes of Ryachi Cave, and the slugs of Shikatsu Forest. They are only about 5 meters tall. However, this thing can fly, and compared to those ugly and dying guys, the swan in front of him is not only pure and noble, but also elegant and extraordinary. With such a temperament, it is definitely not a good role to be with. Something goes wrong, it will be a monster. Judging from Danzo's many years of experience, he can't easily keep his hands. Tentative attack. Futon, wind style, vacuum sphere. The right arm and left hand with the golden seal bracelet swiped a few fingerprints, and the old immortal who opened his mouth and sucked in the airflow turned them into bullets and sprayed them out. Swan Lake solo dance. Gracefully spread out his wings and gently flapped twice, and the rising water waves overflowed all around. If it is called the sea, then the morning dew is the river. But this swan can completely control the river, spinning, scattering, lacing, hydrating marbles in a frantic burst, spreading the waters, turning the snow into crystal in the blink of an eye. The ground was frozen, and the crunching frost made the sky blue like a wash, and even the gray-black dark clouds were not bad. Wrong. How could it be possible to see the sky with the current weather? The thought that had just arisen was not in a hurry to reveal the hidden Sharingan, and Danzo had to stumble and fly out, and the ice blades rose from the ground like a series of thorns, forming a crystal forest of ice. The crystal forest is very beautiful, and the beauty is intoxicating, but this beauty is fatal. Finished. Futon, wind style, tornado summoning. The Samsung fan planted on the ground was raised high and swung towards the sky. Tamari's beautiful big eyes flashed an unstoppable surprise. And the surprise is just beginning. Gentle Fist Method 1211 Type Ultrashock. Frost on his feet and dancing with white flowers on his face, Hinata broke through the snow and chased in front of Danzo, with a dazzling white mark on his small, crystal-like hand. If you get hit, you will die. Anko for Yamanaka wind control. Aburame in black takes root. The two subordinates rushed over, but as soon as they lifted their feet, they were forced back by two ice Jinchuriki column. Chaolu raised her neck extremely humanely, and her beautiful eyes were full of disdain. Shimura Danzo hits the jackpot. Hinata and Chaolu didn't stay in Luoxia Mountain for a long time, and they learned very few tricks. Now, Danzo has hit it. What is the 1211 type Ultra Shockwave? One shock contains one shock. It is called the 1211 type Ultra Shockwave, which is also the limit that Hinata has been able to achieve so far. Shock, as many as one shock per second. With just one blow, the old Danzo was blown away, and all the metal rings on the raised right arm were shattered. Will it work? Big drops of blood slid down along with the falling metal fragments, and Hinata Tamari showed a solemn expression. Using contempt and carelessness to suddenly make a killing move, that's the only thing the two of them can do. The two little girls are good, but if the old man wants to kill you, it's easy. Severely traumatized, Sharingan raised his four-shot arm to look, and Danzo turned his gaze to Anko. Surrender, or die. Old man, you. Kunai felt from his waist pressed against his throat, and Anko smiled grimly. Hinata's little secretary was terrified. Tamari, whose lips were bitten, narrowed his eyes, and his 5 knuckles rattled. Shimura Danzo, are you still shameless? The 5 Shadows conference is about to start. This old man has no time to waste time with you. What was supposed to be easy to do happened unexpectedly, and 4 whole cards were abolished, and Danzo couldn't help but get angry. Tamari laughed, cried and laughed at the same time. Fu-kun, forgive me. Tornado roar _. The ninjutsu that seemed to have failed just now suddenly fell from the sky, like a huge tornado hanging upside down, sucking all the surrounding wind and snow into it, and it turned from blue to white in a blink of an eye. He raised his right hand to control the rumbling tornado and moved slowly, and all 3 of Danzo's expressions changed when they saw it. Let's die together. Hinata, go back and report. Be sure to tell Fu-kun the news. Sister Tamari. Go quickly, Miss Chaolu, please. I'm not a young lady, you little girl of the Weasel clan. Angrily shouted and grabbed Hinata by the collar. The holy swan spread its wings. Don't die, or those nasty bastards will be sad. I try, please tell Fu-kun to forgive me. I love him. Today's first update. Union will work hard, brothers and sisters for support. Text chapter 288 _ the rhythm of not dying, not dying. Tornado hurricane 1000 blades dance spiritualism, Itachi Hachiko. Little girl, are you ready to kill us by calling us out? The scythe raised from his shoulders was held in his backhand. Weasel shook his feet and shivered. You actually used this level of skill, little girl, this is not like you at all. It's going to die, it's going to die. It's so cold. 5th sister, it's so sad. I feel that the little girl is leaving us. 8 ferrets, 8 scythes, and 8 strong winds. When they jumped into the storm, the hurricane that was dyed gray by the ice and snow returned to cyan in a blink of an eye. You don't die, come and work hard. Thousands of knives. The slender hand that was raised above the top suddenly pressed down, 617, Tamari bit Silver Kiba and jumped backwards. Yamanaka wind-controlled Enko to take 2 steps forward to threaten his life, but was blown all over his face by the relentless wind. Go back, that little girl gave up. Of experience in burying his neck in the soil, what kind of person and what kind of state, Shimura Danzo can understand 7 or 8 at a glance. Seeing the determination in Tamari's eyes, he immediately understood what this expression meant. Run. None of you can run away. The 3-star fan was full of fire and injected all the remaining chakra, and Tamari began to dance, dancing a round dance called death. Just stay with me. The giant fan swung with all its strength, turned clockwise into a circle. It was not very fast at first, but within 3 or 2 seconds, another storm was formed. With the formation of the storm, the hurricane that fell from the sky seemed to be instructed to move 100 times faster than before. Shimura Danzo is numb all of a sudden. Forbidden technique. This is definitely forbidden technique, and it is still the over-range forbidden technique that exchanges life for life. 8 sides swayed their sides wildly, hundreds of millions of wind blades spun around, the chaotic ground crisscrossed with countless ravines, and the land of Black Yuhi looked like a Loess high slope. Danzo's old face twitched. For the first time, he had doubts about his own abilities. If such an out-of-range attack was involved, even 10,000 lives would not be enough to die. A Sharingan for a minute sounds invincible, but it needs a hand seal between 2, and looking at the wind, there is obviously no interval between attacks. She has to run out, her technique won't last long. The afterglow from the corner of their eyes swept across another group of strong winds, and the 3 people who were running away threw off their broken shoes. Tamari, who turned into a gust of wind, nodded his toes with scorn in his eyes, and the gust of wind, one big and one small, joined together. The hurricane is moving faster, and if Fang is the road public, it is now the F1 equation. Immortal, you don't want to escape. The 2 opposite storms in it shot out countless sharp blades, and the gust of wind was like a naughty child blowing across the snowfield, leaving footprints in the whiteness. The ice was shattered, the cliffs were destroyed, and even the slopes along the way were lifted. The wind is roaring, the horse is howling, and the snow is roaring. Shimura Danzo's face is so ugly. I wanted to use Liamong Liwei to convince the voices of opposition, but I never expected to encounter such unfortunate things. That woman is a lunatic. From the little girl to her and then to a woman, the changes of the 3 kinds of titles reveal their innermost feelings. Danzo was really panicking at the moment. Looking back at his past, this old guy rarely fought head-on when he did things. Whether he was out on a mission or commanding a battle, he always had a strong conspiracy atmosphere. Not only does it make the enemy feel resentful, but even his own side has a lot of remarks. Now he's playing big again. The opponent, who was obviously easy to solve, was bitten back, and Danzo, who was about to vomit blood, bit the mouth full of old Kiba and ran desperately. If he didn't run, he would die. That's Tamari's art. Konkuro, Maki-sensei, I'm going to speed up. 3 groups of khaki deserts floated up to the ground, and the cold air blew across his cheeks and poured into his collar. My sister used that level of secret art. Damn Shimura Danzo, I won't let you go this time. Mr. Yuhi, that's over there. Sitting on the dog's back and looking up, Inuzuka Kiba twitched his itchy nose. What a terrible storm, what a great force of nature. No, it's ninjutsu. What, Teacher Yuhi, you said this is ninjutsu. This is this. 1, 2, 3 and 4 turned their heads one after another, and Inuzuka Kiba Shino Tenten's head was all big. Don't be so pervert, okay. It's gone if you chase after it. God, is this the rhythm to die? Then what, Mr. Yuhi, look, should we change direction? Our Hokage-sama is over there. He emphasized on the 4 words of Hokage-sama, and Kurenai Yuhi's hatred fool could hear it. A sentence to sentence the death penalty, even if there are 10,000 unwillingness in the heart, it is still worth it. Konoha has changed 3 generations of Hokage in just a few years. If you count the 4 generations more than 10 years ago, that is 4. What's even more funny is that they all died in their own villages. QB, Ninetales, attacked the village, Chunin took the exam, and Pain invaded. With such a past, if Guy hangs up again, he will undoubtedly announce to all countries that people are stupid, money is rich, come quickly. The current Konoha has long lost the prestige that used to resist the entire ninja world in the past. Control your code. Since Kurenai Yuhi had a soft temper, he couldn't help but curse in his heart. Can't stand it anymore. Turning over a hillside again and looking back, Shimura Danzo's mouth curled into a sneer. Forbidden technique is powerful, but if you can't hit someone, it's free. Lord Danzo, be careful. Gaara Konkuro was stunned when he saw Enko's figure. Betrayal. Wrong. There must be something wrong. Lu Meng once took his 3 wives to stay in the Land of Winds for a long time, and Mitarashi Enko left a deep impression on the Red Panda puppet master. Now, 5 generations of Kazekage, are you trying to start a war? Shimura Danzo, I should ask you that. Gaara, don't let him run away. Today's first update, Union will work hard, the rise of the infinite comprehensive fat man, has signed a contract, hehe, please bless, please spread the flowers, brothers and sisters, have time to go and have a look, not bad. Text chapter 289 _ your sins are unforgivable. Azanagi. Quicksand waterfall. The yellow sand rising from the ground was like Kabuto's head covered by the raging waves from the sea. In the face of this natural disaster attack, the 3 Danzo who ran away were swept in the blink of an eye. Interesting academy can't escape the shackles of Shalang no matter how hard it struggles. In the face of this terrifying sand sea, all resistance is futile. Caught them. 3 balls of sand, Gaara clenched his fist at the far right. Either don't do it or do it. Sand-bound coffin. The blood of the 5-finger Gaba was scattered, and the crisp sound of the bones shattering made the whole body numb. Be careful, Gaara, that guy isn't dead. Futon, wind style, vacuum sphere. A deep breath of cold air and exhaling dozens of thumb-sized wind bullets, Shimura Danzo appeared not far away. The whirring and panting Tamari was leaning on a Samsung fan and standing in the distance. The out-of-control tornado slowly moved and whistled. Hey, little girl, do you need us to go up and help? With 8 sickles on his shoulders, Boss Itachi shook his golden retriever. That guy has an invincible ability, even if he is torn apart, it is useless. It's so beneficial. The hair sticking to the body stood up like a nest, and the 8 ferrets were all frightened. Tamari bit the corner of his lips solemnly. That's Sharingan's forbidden technique. 1 Sharingan takes a minute. To kill him, it takes 6 minutes of uninterrupted attack. Can we go home? He glanced at the battlefield timidly. What an undead ninja would do in 6 minutes, a fool can think of it. Danzo's power is beyond imagination. Lord Kazekage, it's very rude to see the old man face to face. Hey168.com. If you take off your right eye, I will meet you naturally. In front of him in a semi-circle, Gaara played with eyes of sand with one eye closed. The secret was revealed. Danzo's old face turned into a crab, and he hated Liuman to the core. The strength of the ninja lies in the mystery, and the lethality of the trump card after being beaten must be reduced by at least half. That kid must die. The same is true of these people in front of them. Raid. Sudden raid. Futon, wind style, vacuum continuous wave. The solitary wind knives slashed horizontally and vertically across the wilderness, and Shimura Danzo suddenly appeared behind Gaara. Shanfang Shuriken Thorn. The flat sharp cone brought a half-foot-long blade to the back, and the frantically surging sand and stones could not stop his attack at all. Fly to the sky, Gaara. That guy has no ability to lift off. Drag him to death. The beauty who had almost all the information shouted a bad move again. Shimura Danzo's face was black and black with shoe polish. Sand hand. Slightly opening her body to the side to cut through the drooping placket, Gaara boldly launched a counterattack. Danzo's who was pinched by a slap, greeted death with a smile, and the next moment, he appeared in front of Kankuro Maki who had just arrived. Get out. Red secret technique fire bullet. The young face under the cloak opened his mouth and spat out poisonous needles. At the same time, countless flames spewed out of his palm. Shimura Danzo stood in the dark yuhi and disappeared without a trace. Is this the horror of Izanagi? Turns all unfavorable factors such as injury and death into a dream, which nullifies anyone's attacks, and at the same time materializes favorable factors such as attacks. Freely controlling the boundary between demonic illusion and reality, casting the ultimate demonic illusion on oneself, and controlling the transition between dream and reality, Sharingan really benefits, which is beyond the scope of ordinary ninjutsu. Shimura Danzo, you bastard must die. Gaara, he has 5 minutes left in his spell. It's this woman again. Face slightly, Danzo glanced at the girl on the edge of the storm who was standing far away, and Danzo was full of killing intent. Since you have forced the old man into such a situation, then you must prepare for death. Kill him. An unexpected change happened suddenly. With the old thing drinking violently, Gaara's little half-body was stained with blood. Back, Danzo in front, Maki in the back, Sunagaku Jonin, who finished his hands, widened his eyes in astonishment, not knowing why he did this. Junior, go to hell. All his strength to attract Gaara's absolute defense, Shimura Danzo suddenly made a black hand in a sneak attack on the opponent controlled from behind. Maki-sensei, you. I don't know. Go on. Another word, another attack. Maki Jonin, who has the name of Yigui, seems to be a different person all of a sudden. Gaara must die, his presence is a danger to Sunagaku. Asshole, what the hell is going on here? Kankuro, control the teacher, his memory has been tampered with. Guard, there's no guard left. Tamari ducked into the storm earlier to guard against this. Unexpectedly, someone still won the prize. Hateful. With his backhand pulling out the scroll that sealed the black ants, Kankuro launched a surprise attack on Maki. It looks oddly shaped like a horse's head, and the puppet doll with 3 eyes and 2 corners opens its belly. These things are useless for teachers. X was cut open, and the puppet doll shattered into 4 pieces before it reached the front. Big trouble. Being able to survive from the battlefield to the present, Maki is naturally not a good character. Gaara looked at Danzo in front, and teacher in the back, and stroked the wound from top to bottom. The sharp wind knife not only successfully broke through the outer sand escape, but even the inner sand armor also wore through. It is an unforgivable sin to play with the minds of others at will. Shimura Danzo, I declare in the name of Kazekage of the 5th generation, and execute the sentence on you. Junior, when you're not young, you can learn from adults. If you want to judge this old man, you have to have that kind of strength. You can die. After a short pause, a gloomy smile appeared in his eyes, and a pitch-black spell floated under Gaara's feet. Danzo raised his knife, Danzo stabbed forward, and Danzo's old face became a jug of liquid. Impossible, the sand can still move. The escape of sand is not controlled by me, and your seal is naturally ineffective against them. This is the greatest treasure given to me by my mother, and she is guarding me all the time. Even though her body couldn't move, Gaara showed no fear at all, and the sand gushing from the mouth of the gourd enveloped her body in an instant. Shimura Danzo's face was black, and it couldn't be blacker. This kid. There is a power outage in the Cloud home, and it is difficult to find a non-stop place. Hey, they moved to the north and south of the Yangtze River. I hope they can change the wires in the afternoon. It's really annoying to code words outside. Text chapter 290_legendary monster. The old man doesn't believe it. You can really defend it. The interesting academy is the first release. The conical sword hidden in the crutch, Shimura Danzo stabbed the sandball. The blade that was half a foot beyond the blade collided with the gravel that had shrunk to the extreme, sparking sparks, and Danzo's eyes flashed with unstoppable astonishment. The sand in the gourd is different from the outside. It has been nourished and improved for many years. They are no longer ordinary things. As I said, this is the treasure that my mother gave me, and she has been guarding me silently. No matter what I become, my mother's love will never change. Those who don't understand love will never understand love. Great. You are just a cockroach in a dark corner. You will never understand the vastness of the light, and if you insist on coming out, you will only be reduced to ashes. Quote. Little devil, you are too long-winded. The sharp blade that moved forward little by little became more and more difficult as it went inside, and Danzo's entire old face turned black and turned into a lump of coal. The smaller the volume, the higher the density. The higher the secret, the stronger the defense. You can't pierce through this layer of sandstone armor. Almost turned into steel. No. Wrong. It should be said that the armor of banknotes, which is far more than steel, gradually appeared golden, and as the ball shrank inward little by little, a human figure appeared. The sword in Danzo's hand couldn't pierce, but likewise Gaara lost his ability to move. Not only because of the strange incantation under his feet, but also because of the armor on his body. If the old man can't kill you, he will seal you completely. Sunagakure village is missing 5 generations of Kazekage, which just makes Konoha one less rival. If you die, those guys will definitely form an alliance with us again. His finger to draw the Dao Dao rune, Shimura Danzo's bloodshot eyes flashed a hideous smile. Konkuro. Tamari. One was chased by Maki, and there was nothing left of a chakra. How to do? As the minutes passed, Danzo wrote the final strokes. Interesting academy. Gaara. Brushing the hand seal with both hands, Shimura Danzo squinted his eyes happily. First solve the 5 generations of Kazekage, then take the Genin World Coalition, go back and tie Sunagakure to the chariot, use this war with Akatsuki to unify the entire ninja world, and then secretly manipulate the daimyo to become the United Nations. He will become a unique ruler. Bye. There are too many jades in the world, just leave one piece. I will be the co-owner of all. What predecessor Hokage, what Sarutobi Hiruzen, will be trampled under the feet of the old man. No, I'm going to help. Bite Silver Kiba and lift the Samsung fan. Tamari gave up the protection of the tornado and rushed to the battlefield. Even if you risk your life, you have to break that seal. Don't miss out on Gaara. Shimura Danzo. After pouring in the last bit of chakra, he launched the Itachi cage, and Tamari, who had finished swinging his fan, threw himself to the ground. It's useless, the sealing technique has been completed. 2 hands suddenly stopped to form a tiger print, and Danzo's eyes flashed coldly. Just as he was about to perform his kung fu, there was a swan chirping from the horizon. Along with the chirping of swans, there were also bursts of tiger roars. Get rid of him first. The sickle in Itachi was pressed down with both hands, and Danzo had a bad idea in his heart. Seeing the black runes spreading all over Gaara's body, Konkuro stretched out his right hand. Mr. Maki, the puppet master is also conscious. You once said that because you are too used to hiding and avoiding attacks by relying on strange organs, it is far more difficult for a puppet master to grow than an ordinary ninja. Now, I have found the moment when I should be enlightened. Quote. Gaara has to survive, he is a well-deserved 5th-generation Kazekage from Sunagakure village. Yuhi's secret skill spiral. Leaving the most powerful puppet from his side, Konkuro held the Sanjiao Yu in front of him. Even if you know you can't do it, you have to do the last struggle. This is my way of forbearance. Even if you die, you have to bring people to be buried with you. Poison cone hell extremely accurate 100 bursts. The rotten black ants spinning at high speed spewed out poisonous needles from the surviving arms. At the puppet doll that was spinning rapidly around him, Maki didn't move. His body was enough to guard against Jonin's full-strength slashing, so he didn't need to pay attention to these things at all. It's useless. The curtain came to an end with a crisp sound, and the thousands of poisoned books were all broken into pieces. Konkuro's heart seemed to sink into the sea of ice, and Maki looked at him with very complicated eyes, but the tampered memory drove him to attack. Terrifying demonic illusion, terrifying ability. With just one wave, the flying puppet fell to the ground. You are the apprentice I taught. I am Jonan from Sunagakure village, and I am also the commander of the fighting force. There is no secret to me about the ability of the puppet master. To be able to cut the invisible chakra line with the wind blade that he sent out at will, what he should not see, is it experience. Drops of cold sweat ran down his cheeks, and the roar of thunder and lightning sounded in Konkuro's mind. Of psychic taper. After completing the final seal, the hidden psychic beast was summoned. As the roar of the elephant spread throughout the night, the nightmare taper with tiger claws, ox body, cat ears and elephant trunk appeared in the world. This mythical monster that devoured nightmares for a living doesn't look docile at all. It doesn't match many records, and it's far larger than expected. Not to mention that it is comparable to the legendary Sanin, it is not much different. Gaara. Lifting his chin with difficulty and opening his eyes, Tamari's eyes blurred to look at the opposite, the 5 generations of Kazekage, whose whole body was almost covered with incantations, with 2 circular seals printed on the front chest and back. Gaara was careless, or restrained. Danzo's ability to immortalize is extremely strange. It can be called very strong, or it can be called very weak. Meet some ninjas and he's a god, meet some ninjas and he's an idiot. If Uchiha Itachi comes in person today, his fate is only a dead end. Gaara poured down the blood mold, and the rapidly flying Lu Man widened her eyes. The west wind roared, and the morning dew cried softly. The gangster who danced diagonally in Warsaw with the silver-white wind shook off his cape. Danzo. You are finally here. Dare to beat my wife's idea, die. There is no meaning of nonsense at all, and the whereabouts are volleyed. Before Liamong has landed, the poison mine bag in his hand is thrown out. Dozens of groups of poisonous packets exploded, raising a poisonous cloud that spread across the entire battlefield. Shimura Danzo sneered dismissively. Dream taper. His Aang raised his long nose and opened Kiba's vulgus mouth, and the terrifying strong wind was sucked into his mouth. Danzo laughs. Liamong also laughs. Go to hell. Go to hell. There are still 2 chapters, the last chapter may be late, but even if the cloud does not sleep, it will be coded. Text Chapter-281 must kill him. The attacks that were launched at the same time slammed into each other. Danzo wanted to kill Liamong to take the opportunity, and Liamong also wanted to kill Danzo to cut the grass and remove the roots. Neither of them could keep his hand. You're dead, stinky rat. Dream taper. The hand knife that went through his chest held the beating heart, and before Liuman could be happy, the shadow of a psychic beast came from the top of his forehead. The giant hoof like a tiger's claws slammed down the road, and the splashed sand, gravel and dust filled a radius of dozens of meters. Sarutobi Hiruzen has a monkey king, and his apprentices also have psychic beasts. However, the old man is no worse than any of them. The old man can do the things they can't do, and the old man can solve the problems they can't solve. Why did they become shadows one by one, but the old man had to hide in the shadows and wait to die? I want to be a movie too. Killing the boy in front of him and declaring the prestige of the 6th generation of Hokage to the ninja world is the best way to ascend the throne. Deadwood Liamong, how long are you going to hide? Have I said that I need to hide? Stinky mouse, only a sneaky person like you who is playing tricks all the time will save others. Fighting with you is really an infinite thing. Husband Kun, 4 minutes, he has 4 minutes left. Also, Sister Enko. I know. With a lonely expression, he lowered his head, and helped Tamari on the west wind's back, with boundless murderous intent surging in Liamong's eyes. Danzo, you bastard. Something completely unexpected, just a negligence caused the bitter fruit like now. All of this needs to be paid for with blood. Blast me. The rumbling dark purple clouds blew up the clouds of smoke that spread across the entire battlefield. When the icy cold wind dispelled the twilight, Danzo's psychic beasts had seen blood in many places. Interesting Academy first release. Since you're still alive, try this again. Thang Longba. With the speed that the naked eye can reach, he rushed under the unsteady dream taper, and Liamong slammed his fist, punching. 2 punches. 3 punches. Boom, 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 boom. The continuous roar continued for a full 18 sounds, and the huge psychic beast flew into the air like a rocket that couldn't catch fire. Danzo standing below was dumbfounded, and Yuhi's third Tomo went blind on the spot. Look, this is your future. He hugged the huge elephant trunk with both hands and swung it into a circle, and Liamong kicked the void and turned into a circle, and in the blink of an eye, the shadow disappeared. There is only a funnel-shaped whirlwind that connects the sky and the earth. The rumbling sand and gravel rushed towards the clouds with the shattered wind and snow, and the mournful cry of the psychic beast was indescribably desolate, like a half-big doll beaten by an adult or a lifeless rat who had seen a cat. Shimura Danzo's mouth is bitter. Although he had already prepared in his heart, when he really faced Liamong, he still murmured. Didn't you say that this kid was struck by lightning? Why is it now? Thinking of the information collected earlier, what Shimura Danzo wants to do most now is to go back and kill those people. If he hadn't known that Liamong fell into the prestige situation, if he hadn't known that Liamong's strength had been greatly damaged, how could he choose to jump out at this time to do such a thing? Is it all fake? Thousands of thoughts turned around in my mind, and only half a second passed by the outside world, and the dream taper danced into a windmill, and threw it to the ground with a wild laugh. Spiral comet falls. Die for me. A monster weighing more than tens of tons was dropped from a height of hundreds of meters with a strong centrifugal force. You can know Akatsuki by looking at the Kingdom of Iron. In fact, when Liamong completed this blow, the 3 wolf mountains in the Iron Country trembled 3 times. Already in place, the 3rd generation Tsuchikage who was climbing the hill, and the 5th generation Mizukage who was on a leisurely journey all felt this abnormal tremor. This is by no means a natural disaster. Countless powerhouses cast their gazes in the direction of the earthquake. Liamong stood in the huge crater and picked up the spoils, which were 2 huge elephants, Kiba, and the longest of the 2 dream tapers, Kiba. So crazy, so scary. Looking at the crater with a depth of tens of meters, looking at the cracks in the wasteland in all directions, creating such a brilliant image on this frozen soil, the Liuman stepped on the blood pool and screamed. Danzo is ready to run off with oil again. There are times when the immortal pupil technique also loses its effectiveness, and with the speed at which it manifests itself, there is no certainty of victory at all. In the face of absolute speed, all tricks are jokes. In the world of martial arts, nothing is invincible, only fast is invincible. Before the seal was finished, people wiped the neck and played a fart, hurry up and run. As for the 2 subordinates whose life and death are unknown, Danzo didn't even think about it. If you die, you will die. The old guy never treats the people below him as a human being. A tool is a tool, and no matter how good it is just a tool. Retreat. Immediately executing the thought that will arise, Danzo is about to run into the crowd, a group of acquaintances who are in a mess. Yamato Tenzo Kurenai Yuhi, Aburame Shino Inazuka Kiba, Tenten Sakura Ka Naruto. In the name of the 6th generation of Hokage, the old man orders you to immediately execute the Konoha's level sentence. How could this old bastard be here? His arms and those eyes. Where did your Sharingan come from? After being immersed in the sea of consciousness for days, I was finally awakened by Sakura's tears. Today's Naruto's formidable temperament has changed drastically, and he is no longer as clueless as he used to be, nor as free and easy as before. Today, he is more like a hero standing on the top of the cliff and looking at the world. Children grow up, and maybe Jiraiya will be excited about that. Unfortunately, that guy is dead. Kyubi, Ninetales, Jinchuriki, Column Force, you are not staying in the village, what are you doing out? Shimura Danzo, you just gave the order in the name of Hokage, then I will use that name too. In the name of the Uzumaki clan and the Namikaze clan, I declare you to be executed. You can't leave here alive today. Dead boy, he has Sharingan on him, and the breath of Senju Hashirama. Kill him, this old guy must die. Stinky fox, why are you crazy? I'll tell you later if the old man is crazy. If you can't do it, open the door. Anyway, this thing is useless. Of the spell created by the 4 generations of Hokage, Kyubi, Nine Tails, has been able to establish spiritual communication with Naruto at any time. The chakra channel between one person and one beast is completely opened. Listen to the old man, kill him. There is still a chapter, although it has passed a little, but the cloud is still working hard and will definitely come out. Text Chapter 292_weird situation that has never been seen before. One hand and one elephant. Kiba quickly digs the gravel, and is not in a hurry to perceive the changes in the outside world through the conscious mind and eyes. Interesting academy. Dig them out first. Do you want to disobey Hokage's orders? Shimura Danzo was half dead in panic as he looked back and forth in extreme unease. Sakura away, he walked to Kurenai Yuhi and stood still. Naruto Uzumaki slowly gave a thumbs up. Don't be surprised, he was facing down. Danzo, you never deserved to be Hokage. Kyubi, Nine Tails, Jinchuriki, Column Force, I'm afraid you can't afford to provoke this old man. Yamato Tenzo, Kurenai Yuhi, what are you waiting for? Shimura Danzo, you've been removed from the village by Hokage for 5 generations. You're no longer a ninja in Konoha. The old man is the 6th generation of Hokage. Don't be that stinky, shameless old guy. Inuzuka Kiba opened his mouth unexpectedly. Even with Akamaru's bark, we have never admitted your identity, and the Daiming House has also confirmed the nomination of Teacher Guy. You are still cool and don't stay. Go ahead. What? Daimyo recognized Might Guy's nomination. You should call him Hokage, the 6th generation. As for the word Lord, you don't need it. The previous generation, Lord Hokage Jiraiya, crossed out your name in the village file. Goddamn. Persistence all along was suddenly hit hard. Shimura Danzo's throat was sweet, and was spit out a large black yuhi. Why did things turn out this way? Didn't the daimyo already promised him? The 6th generation Hokage can only and must be my Shimura Danzo. You are deceiving the old man is going to kill you. Dead boy, kill him. Yuhi coat that suddenly appeared, danced back and forth with the angry roar of Kyubi, Nine Tails. Kurenai Yuhi Yamato and Tenzo became stupid in an instant. Not only they were stupid, but Sakura Inuzuka Kiba Tenten Shino was also stupid. Heihei168.com. This is this. Uzumaki Naruto standing silently, Yamato Tianzang completed the transfer of Spartan Berserker in one fell swoop. Shimura Danzo's old face twitched twice. You have full control over Kyubi, Nine Tails. No, Naruto's voice was very calm as the ocean, because I have never thought of it this way. Kurama, give it to you. The jewel-colored pupils turned into the color of a beast when they closed and opened, and Naruto, whose aura changed greatly, raised his hands and looked at it. The human body is so weird, and it's really awkward to control. If it wasn't for the fear of crippling this kid, the complete body should be better. You are not Kyubi, Nine Tails, people Jinchuriki, Column Force. Ha ha ha, did you just find out? Of course, the old man is not the poor dead boy, the old man is the demon fox in your mouth. Seven Tails danced frantically and leaned down. Uzumaki Naruto rushed out. Danzo also changed jobs like Yamato. So bizarre has ever happened since someone was Jinchuriki column powering this thing. The tailed beasts are either completely controlled, or take the opportunity to run wild. How can there be such a strange thing in front of them? Uchiha Madara uses Mangekyo to forcibly control Kyubi, Nine Tails, turning it into his own psychic beast, and Senju Hashirama uses Mokuden, wood style, which is a powerful annihilation. Compared with them, the 4th generation Mizukage killer bees are different. They choose to communicate with the tailed beast, and then use strange means to control it. But no matter whether it is forced to annihilate or lure annihilation, in the final analysis it is annihilation. Naruto is different from them. completely equal body exchange, and even spiritual sharing. Kyuubi, 9 tails, from the cage and overturn the shell. Now Naruto is watching a play. Kurama see me like this before. Thinking of being watched like this by a fox since he was born, Uzumaki Naruto feels very strange, as if all the secrets have been discovered. In a way, his relationship with Kyuubi, 9 tails, is closer than anyone else. Among them, even his father, Namikaze Minato, and his mother, Uzumaki Kushina, were included. Stinky fox, fight hard, don't damage your body. Shut up, you bastard, if you dare to gossip, I'll really take over your body. As you wish, I just happen to experience this kind of bystander feeling, it's really amazing. Damn, shut up, dead boy. The suffering that he has suffered is regarded as enjoyment by others. Depressed and mad, Kyuubi, 9 tails, dances his claws and tears Danzo to shreds. The old man is going to see how many lives you have. Tailed Beast Bomb. Kyuubi, 9 tails, blasting cannons is easier than yawning, compared to Naruto's idiotic tricks that take time to gather. Captain Yamato, is there really no problem with this? Kurenai Yuhi's pretty face turned pale as she stared at the completely inhuman fighting style ahead, and a deep fear filled her mind. I don't know. A completely unimaginable change overwhelmed all previous cognitions, and Yamato Tenzo really didn't know what to do. If it was in the past, he would definitely go up to suppress Naruto. But for now, don't make fun of him. Yao was because of various coincidences and the help of 4 generations of Raikage. Don't look at one less than last time, only 7 tails, but this is under control. And the person in control is not by the side, it is the Kyuubi, 9 tails, fox itself. Suppress it. As long as Yamato Tianzang thought about it, he felt that he was seeking his own death. Look at that hapless Danzo, the fight scenes are totally one-sided. If it weren't for the weird undead technique, he would have been instantly killed by Kyuubi, 9 tails. Burst of tailed beast bombs and a long tail of sharp claws that stretch out at will. When Naruto launches a surprise attack, it's like a 9-armed ninja that makes it hard to guard against. Hey, stinky fox, can you not bite your mouth? It's disgusting. It's not a big deal to take a bite, study hard, this is the real physique. Wow, go, you are also called Taiju. Stink fox, do you still have shame? Why can't this old man be called a physique? Dead boy, keep your eyes open for this old man. 32 combos of mouth, claw and tail, flying fox flash. With his mouth wide open, he aimed at his throat and snorted. Before the person could fall, the 2 claws ripped through the air. At the same time, the 7 tails like machine guns suddenly flashed into phantoms, crazily wearing everything forward. Danzo was aggrieved, ran, couldn't run away, won, couldn't win. After being photographed into flesh again, he turned his eyes towards Haruno Sakura. According to intelligence, this girl is very important to the Kyuubi, 9 tails, Jinchuriki column power. If you can catch her. Hey, stinky fox, that old guy's eyes make me very uneasy, be careful. Okay, dead boy, this old man has more experience than you. Those little grasshoppers over there, get the hell out of here, don't shoot you to death for a while to make that dead boy bother me. Is this really the Kyuubi, 9 tails, fox? Who is the dead boy he was talking about? Naruto. The answer that was guessed after a little guess came to mind, and Kurenai Yamato and Tenzo were not calm. Especially our Yamato captain, who has a white face. Yuhi will be white for a while. Not far away, a snow-white elephant Kiba appeared in his eyes. Finally finished the update, the cloud went to sleep, and got up in the morning to continue. Look at the special cat meat. Text chapter 293 _ all that should come and should not come. Danzo, you're really pissing, the young master gave you such a good opportunity, you don't run, you're still poor here. Baidu Interesting Academy. Deadwood Shimmering. Don't yell so loudly, I'm not deaf. It's not like you can't hear a lot of words at your age. The elephant Kiba beside him slammed into the ground, and Liuman lifted the 2 sandballs he dug up. Bring up with the sand ball, there is a little black. Needless to say, everyone knows that this is Gaara's unlucky child. Tsunade is coming soon. Secretly estimating the estimated time, he glanced at Danzo, and Liamong turned his gaze to Naruto, or the cubey nine-tails fox. What happened? He aimed, the rhythm didn't seem right. Boss. A bloody Yuhi's beast pupil returned to its blue color, and Naruto waved his arms in greeting. Liamong opened his mouth in astonishment, and broke his legs in fright. He's aiming, it's a big deal. Is this kid Naruto Uzumaki now, or is he a cubey nine-tails fox? Naruto, what state are you in? Boss, let's talk about something for a while, or Kurama will be upset. I'll go back first. Finish speaking, his eyes changed color again, and the demon fox dancing with seven tails rolled his eyes coldly and rushed towards Danzo. A minute and a second passed, and Danzo's forehead saw fine sweat. What the hell is going on? How the cubey nine-tails people Jinchuriki column force control the demon fox? This is not normal. Who would have thought that Naruto would move cubey nine-tails with his own life in silence? Even the spiritual body clone left by the fourth Hokage was speechless. What kind of person and what kind of life, like this kind of character who is loved by the worldview, will always make all kinds of strange things. Baidu Interesting Academy. Looked at cubey nine-tails, who had beaten Danzo into a rolling gourd and wiped his nose, letting go of his thoughts. Looking back, he began to think about how to open the seal. To rescue Enko first. Inch strength breaking fist. Gaba put his 5 fingers together and used a shocking call, and the radiance of the sand ball in a punch showed a smile on his face. Sister Enko, welcome back. Fu-kun, it's so nice to meet you. The fist that suddenly exploded, under the gaze of astonished eyes, was in the middle of the lower abdomen, and the coldness in Liamong's eyes was enough to freeze the glacier through. Yamanaka Wind, it seems that you don't want to. Fu-kun, what are you talking about? The weak body struggled twice, and Enko's eyes were full of puzzlement. Liamong smiled and waved his fist again, brazenly slammed into another ball of sand. Dai me. Martial arts golden steel shatter. One punch, thousands of sandstones turned into powder, and Enko's eyes flashed with a deep unwillingness. Why would he know? Being calculated by such a small character who doesn't look down on him at all, Liamong's anger grew stronger and stronger. Bad boy, be careful. You are dead. As the inheritor of the secret arts of the Aburame family, Aburame has never been to school since he was a child. With a body that is resistant to nanoscale poisonous insects, it can instantly kill any living thing it touches. Master Ba, who threw it horizontally, clenched his fist. A muffled clap of fists and Aburame laughed. But right away, he couldn't stop laughing. Why? No why. Aburame, who fell to the ring pit, took the root and sprayed out the blood foam that filled the sky. Infection has to be exposed. A ferocious phantom of a tiger's head flickered on his left hand full of energy, and Liamong simply looked down on this method. The ninja's secrets are very dangerous when they are not discovered, and they are nothing if they are discovered. Like the Yamanaka Wind, and like Aburame taking root. Welcome home. Stinky boy, you bastard. The raised slap turned into a warm touch, and Mitarashi Enko threw himself into his arms crying. Saw this scene from a distance, trembled, not because of the lack of subordinates, but because of the insight shown by Liuman. How did he know the wind and the ability to take roots? No one likes their secrets being revealed, and Danzo suddenly realizes that choosing to come here is the biggest mistake he has ever made in his life. Does the old man lose his cool? On the verge of desperation, Shimura Danzo is worthy of being a veteran powerhouse, and he thought of a bad move at a glance. Take the hostages. Not choosing to charge Liamong again, Danzo aimed at Kurenai Yuhi and others who retreated far away, and aimed directly at Haruno Sakura. Cubey Ninetails, the fox was annoyed. You guys quickly get out of the way, this is a bunch of idiots. Dozen consecutive bites and slaps couldn't stop Danzo's progress. The old guy, who was not afraid of death at all, insisted that Chingshan would not relax. After chasing and fleeing, he came behind him in less than half a minute. Who left Enko and Gaara to Hanada's care, followed, and it was a pursuit that was doomed to madness from the start. Kurenai Yuhi Yamato Tianzang led a few strong men to run in front, Shimura Danzo sullenly chasing behind. Kyubi, Nine-Tails, Fox slapped Kiba and slashed wildly. But for Danzo, who opened the forbidden technique, it has almost no effect. Run, the old guy is running out of time. You can't run away. The only hope of survival lay ahead, and Danzo had no chance of letting go. Death to the old man. Seven Tails rolled up 4 tree poles and smashed forward. Danzo, who was chasing people, kept being smashed to pieces. But the next moment, he appeared from not far away and continued to run wildly, and came to the back in an instant. Haruno Sakura is terrified. Yuhi Sharingan's pale arms covered with fishy fish grabbed Fanjin, and Yamato Kurenai Yuhi's helping hand was completely useless. Catch her and force Kyubi, Nine-Tails, Jinchuriki, column force to fight with the dead Wood Liamong, and then take advantage of the fisherman. If this traitor can be dealt with in one fell swoop, that is, Kyubi, Nine-Tails, can be brought under control, then who would dare deny me this Hokage? Haruno Sakura, come here for this old man. The sudden flash of thunder light pierced through the front's arm, and Danzo, who was only a finger away, was stunned. When he tried to do it again, Sakura was already being protected behind him. The despicable person who covets the blood of the Uchiha family, I will sentence you in the name of the Uchiha family patriarch. Your future is only death. Oh, brothers and sisters, watch the performance of the cloud, there are at least 3 more orders today, come on. Text chapter 294 Is it a calculation or a mistake? Sasuke. Uchiha Sasuke. The excited Sakura, the surprised Naruto, the frowning Yamato Tenzo, and the appearance of Nisukako attracted all kinds of eyes. The 7th class reunited again, and the twilight followed and killed Shimura Danzo's face turned purple. Senju Tsunade, who had walked out of the shadows, threw off his emerald shirt, and punched his left and right fists on his chest. Snapped. There were 2 muffled noises. Seeing this legendary ninja appear, Danzo's face is no longer dark, he is already white. These guys. He took out a kiba stick and exhaled a sullen breath, and Liuman suddenly had the urge to smoke. Danzo, where are you going today? He's mine. Sasuke first glanced at Liamong, then at Tsunade, and finally at Uzumaki Naruto. Kyubi, Nine-Tails, Demon Fox Blood Yuhi. Beast eyes flashed with murderous intent, and Uzumaki Naruto, who knew how to watch dramas in the sea, was excited. Hey, Kurama, what are you doing? He's my friend. Dead boy, he's also from the Uchiha family. Stinky Fox, don't you just look at them like that. That's right, I wish all of them were dead. He roared angrily, and there were 2 people Kyubi, Nine-Tails, hated most in his life. One of them was named Senju Hashirama and the other was named Uchiha Madara. These 2 bastards not only toyed with its body, but also annihilated its soul. Back then, the little fox was happy, and the mainland came to pick up money casually. Until they met the dead ghost Madara, the 2 Sharingans turned it over and were forced to enslave for decades, fighting and killing without paying. Later, I met a dead Hashirama, who smashed the skin to pieces, an eternal, and used her wife to play space. One level was nearly 100 years. Kyubi, Nine-Tails, hated them, eternal, eternal. Everyone in the Uchiha family deserves to die, whoever has the Sharingan has to die. Hey, Kurama, don't lose your temper, okay? Damn boy, get the hell out of here. The old man, the first author of the interesting academy, cleaned up the old man first, and then killed the little one. Tailed beast bomb started the battle, and Kyubi, Nine-Tails, suddenly expanded the battlefield by several hundred meters. Mokuden, wood style, wood array. 100 blossoms Nianchi mask. There was a continuous burst of crackling, and the dumped cedar and cypress were all broken into pieces. Standing in the void and shaking his head, Kyubi Ninetails aimed the bloody Yuhi's eyes at Danzo. There's a minute left, and he still has a minute left to die. Grabbing Zephyr's smooth fur with both hands to report the data, Tamari hated Danzo to death. Liamong took out his ears and glanced back. Tsunade's pale golden pupils were dyed with murderous intent. Shimura Danzo has become a favorite, and now not only Kyubi Ninetails wants to kill him, but Ursukuko also wants to kill him, and Tsunade is also thinking of this. Wanfu was unmoved by what he said, and the thick-skinned conspirators simply ignored them. If you want to kill the old man, you must have the consciousness of being buried with him, so let these traitors of Konoha give the old man a burial. Sarutobi, look at these people, this is your weekend, uncontrolled existence must be eliminated. Sake of Konoha, these people must die. Futon, wind style, Shanfang Shuriken rise. The high-speed spinning cross dart threw a terrifying whistle in all directions, and Shimura Danzo slammed both hands to the ground. Mokuden, wood style, wood cuttings. This bastard. The wood thorns that broke out of the ground formed thorns one after another, and Senju Tsunade clenched his fists when he saw this move. Sure enough, it still can't be completely controlled, the vitality of Senju Hashirama cells is too tenacious. No one caught the jutsu that was forced to stop after only a few seconds, and Shimura Danzo couldn't help but feel unwilling in his heart. Kill him. One after another, the ultimate move was shot towards the midfield, and the second assistant suddenly turned into a Mangekyo. No, not a normal Mangekyo, but an eternal Mangekyo. Amaterasu. Yuhi's bloodshot eyes overflowed with pale eyes, and all the places where his eyes met were stained by the fire of the sun. Faced with the flames that were enough to burn all, Shimura Danzo struggled twice and turned into nothingness. Seeing that Danzo was dead, everyone didn't look happy, but instead showed a solemn look. The next moment, angry curses resounded through the battlefield. Second assistant, you are such an idiot. Forward with black flames all over his body, Shimura Danzo slammed into Liamong. Choose one of three, of course, to solve the most threatening one. What he aimed at, did the young man dig up your ancestral grave in the last life, or did he wear a green hat for your father? Who can't you choose? You have to choose Mr. Fake. Did you pinch your face when you were a young master? The 5 small colorless crystals shattered, and 3 spheres of lightning flashing suddenly appeared above Liamong's head. Go to hell. Energy gathering cannon. The laser that was accustomed to the entire battlefield devoured Danzo together with the fire of Amaterasu and dissipated. Looking at the colorful brilliance as thick as a water tank, many people swallowed. Aim, you give me a try again. 1,000 lotuses in full bloom dazzling flowers. Flurry Chiba flower. The 2 hands clenched fists and the body shook continuously, and shouted loudly with the flowing light. The golden lotus that broke out of the ground was in full bloom, and the flying petals floated like a fairy. A dreamlike brilliance entered his pupils, and Anko Tamari Hinata was completely stunned. Brother, my brother has good interests. When did the brat do this? No, keep an eye on it in the future. It's too easy to provoke little girls. Tamari, hello, Tamari, did you hear? Poo-kun is so handsome. Bastard, what are you crazy about? Pieces of golden lotus dance piece by piece, and the thunder dragon goes out to the sea to reflect the sky. Has Mangekyo, and Liamong also has awakening. Danzo, who had no success in his assault, jumped at Sasuke without even thinking about it. Choose one of 3, always kill one. If Liuman can't hold it, Sasuke must be executed. The jet black flame ignited all over the body and rushed down into the air, and Ursuke giggled and opened his eyes. A despicable person, who can never recognize the distance of reality, attacking his master with a technique issued by Sharingan, only an idiot like you would think of it. Mangekyo Susanoo. Completely unafraid of the burning slap of Amaterasu S fire, he lifted Danzo up in the air. Ursukuko raised his lips sarcastically. How long do you have? Seconds or seconds, hide, I want to see, you how many more times can I die? The old man still has a chance. Once again, his fart turned into blood in the cold. Danzo quietly appeared behind Sasuke, and his goal remained unchanged from beginning to end. Sakura. Smile appeared on his cheeks, and Shimura Danzo pinched Haruno Sakura's snow-white pink neck. Kill him, kill Deadwood Liamong, you two go together, or I'll kill her. Go to update the book, there are still 2 chapters. When I come back, I will work hard to see if I can get more. Brothers and sisters who are interested in The Rise of the Infinite Comprehensive Fat Man, go to see and ask for support. Text Chapter 295 Become the Bait. Who do you want to kill? In his empty hands, crows flew up all over the sky, and Shimura Danzo's eyes instantly shrank to the extreme. Mobile reading is more convenient. m.heihei168.com. It's Itachi's demonic illusion. You are not allowed to mention him again. You who conspired to murder the Uchiha family are not qualified to say this name. He told you everything. It turns out that he is also a betrayal, but also, since he can betray the family, why can't he betray Konoha? Perhaps, you are the only one he has never betrayed. Shut me up. Bo doesn't care to stand still. Shimura Danzo's voice continues. Itachi always wants you to believe that Uchiha is a proud family in Konoha. He begged Hokage not to let you know the truth, and even made up his mind when he left the village to fight with you. He took stigma as the price of fame, hatred as the price of love, and died generously with a smile of Ju Izumi, who entrusted the Uchiha family to you. Quote. Shut up. It's useless, you can't kill the old man. Once again turning death into a dream, Danzo cast an envious glance at Shuzuo Nengu. Self-sacrifice is the essence of ninjas. Living in the dark without the care of the sun. No matter how hard you work, you will not be remembered by the world. This is the true face of a ninja. Life is not known, and death is not known to Matsuri. Quote. Have you said enough? The purple-black skeleton hand slammed down from top to bottom, and Danzo, who stepped out of the darkness, shook his head slightly. Anger is meaningless, not only your brother Itachi, but also many ninjas. In this world, only rely on the bright side doesn't work at all, thanks to the rest of us who can keep the peace. You misunderstood Itachi's will, and it doesn't agree with you. But since Itachi has told you the truth, it's a betrayal of Konoha. Uchiha clan, as expected, naturally anti-bone. Quote. Shimura Danzo, the matter of the Uchiha family can't be commented on by an outsider. When it comes to rebellion, you are the biggest rebel. If 1 slap does not die, then 10 slaps, and if 10 slaps do not die, 100 slaps. Interesting Academy. Futoshiko, who was completely enraged, launched a frantic attack. Die for me, what nonsense are you talking about? Konoha was originally established by the Senju clan and the Uchiha clan. Senju has made you all evil. Why can't Uchiha be in the top position? Itachi is an idiot, and you are a disaster. Susanoo, who was clenched into an iron fist, crashed down with the power of 10,000, and the sand and stones were splashed everywhere. Seconds. Don't let him run away. Tamari, who was shouting in the sky. Senju Tsunade ran to the north and stood still, while Liuman crooked his neck and stopped in the east. The old man is to the south. The 7 tails swept back and forth. Q beat 9 tails. Although Sasuke was upset, he was even more wary of Danzo. Never try to control the old man again. Those who play with the tailed beast will be killed by the tailed beast. There are still seconds. 8 seconds. 6 seconds. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Kill him. As Tamari's timer went to 0, Uchiha Sasuke attacked first. I won't give you another chance. Thunder blade slash. Knife behind the oblique insertion slammed out of its sheath, drawing a streamer that reflected the eyeballs, and Ursuke sneered at Danzo, who had a knife and a head. Father, mother, family, and brother, I will avenge your revenge from today. Be careful Sasuke, he's not dead yet. Izanagi reappeared and attacked from the dead, and Sasuke, who was reminded by Sakura, glowed with dark purple brilliance. Something unexpected happened. Danzo didn't attack after being resurrected, but ran away. Chase. Clouds move from all directions, attack from all directions. Liamong, Tsunade, Kyubi, Ninetales, Sasuke, none of them will let Danzo escape. Are you catching up? Head slightly and glancing behind him out of the corner of his eye, Danzo somehow remembered the past. Hokage Rock, Tomorrow Flower. We are surrounded, the number of enemies is. Using his hands to probe the ground, the second Hokage opened his eyes and looked left and right, and the 6 disciples lined up one after another. Sarutobi Hiruzen with an open-minded and lecherous personality, Shimura Danzo with a dark and competitive nature, Homura Mitokado who likes to calculate, Kaharu Udatane with a flexible mind, Uchiha Kagami with a gentle mind, and Akamichi with a gluttony who takes steps. These are the elites of the next generation of Konoha, and they must not be allowed to fold here. Who will take over Hokage's position? Sarutobi, or Danzo? Looks like a final test is needed. Judging by the pursuit ability, it is the Kumogakur Golden Horn troops who are attacking. You know their combat effectiveness. Ambush. Homura Mitokado pushed her glasses. We have 7 people here plus the second generation Hokage-sama. You might be able to break through and escape by surprise, and hide your words before they find out. Impossible. How can you pin your hopes on luck at such a time? There must be someone to contain it, otherwise the entire army may be wiped out. When the bait is sure to kill, who goes? Akamichi took a step and swallowed. Everyone fell into silence. The second generation Hokage Yi looked at these juniors with scrutiny in his eyes. Noticed Senju Tobarama's gaze, lowered her head, her right hand holding her knee trembled uncontrollably. Promise, you've already decided to die like a ninja on the battlefield. Look up and raise your head. Get up to take over the task, look up. Let me do it. There is no righteous cry, and there is no sadness of life and death. Seeing everyone's astonished eyes, Sarutobi Hiruzen scratched his head weakly. Danzo's hands suddenly stopped shaking. Sarutobi Hiruzen, you. Hey, don't worry, I'm not boasting, I'm the strongest among you, and I won't die as a bait. Danzo, everyone will ask you later. With a slap on his teammate, Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled. Shimura Danzo was sluggish. Why didn't he agree just now? Why did his trembling hands stop? Danzo snapped. A sudden slap slapped his friend's hand to his shoulder. Shimura Danzo stood up in anger. Shut up, Sarutobi, I'm about to take on this mission. You can't stand alone, I'll do the bait. This chapter union was written in a lingering way, and I have rewritten it several times, but I am still not satisfied, and I still feel that I am lacking in ability. It seems that I still need to study hard and work hard. It will come to this time accidentally, but the promised 2 updates will definitely be finished. Danzo is really hard to write. Take aim. Text chapter 296 _ The fox didn't go into the water well. Shimura Danzo suddenly burst out, and everyone was a little surprised. Baidu Interesting Academy. Uchiha Kagami, Kaharu Udatane, Homura Mitokado all widened their eyes. The chubby Akamichi took a step and shrank his head, and said, looking at it, now he can finally eat again, fat brother worships you. Danzo. The half-stretched hand was opened again, and the young old immortal looked up at the sky. My father and grandfather died on the battlefield. Self-sacrifice is the spirit of a ninja. This time the bait. I'll be the bait this time. What? Hokage-sama, you. The eyes raised by the brush were all stunned, and Senju Tobarama looked at each other. You are all the heirs of the Will of Fire, and the village will need you to guard in the future. This task is up to me. No, you are Hokage. You are the most important ninja in the village. How can you? Danzo, you like to compete with monkeys no matter what, but now you have to be united and not quarrel over personal grudges. Lord Hokage. You hesitate to make decisions, but that's normal. Ninjas need to recognize themselves first, stay calm at all times, and know what they're doing. Otherwise, you'll only put yourself and your comrades in danger. You're an adult now. Don't be restless like a child. One day, that time will come, and then hand over this life. Monkey. Lord Hokage. You must protect the people in the village who worship you and trust you, and cultivate a successor who can entrust the next era to him. From tomorrow, you will be the third generation of Hokage. Forehead, and Senju Tobarama's sudden succession of great power shook all 6 disciples. Shimura Danzo's eyes widened in astonishment, and it was only then that he realized what he had missed. Sarutobi, do you have to walk ahead of me no matter what, even in death? Today, the old man will follow your footsteps and carry out our unfinished competition to the end. For the peace and stability of Konoha, Baidu Interesting Academy, let these unfavorable factors accompany the old man to hell. 4-Way Seal. Back at the chasing soldiers behind him, Shimura Danzo shredded his coat and turned around and rushed back. What does he want to do? Not good. Run. He aimed. This old guy was dying. Sister Tsunade, Kyubi, Ninetales, hurry up, and Urzuzi doesn't want to die. Before the words blurted out, the person ran first, and Lu Mang, who was the first to retreat, hit the net, grabbed Tsunade, turned his head, and ran away. Kyubi, Ninetales, a fox who has become a fine for 100 years, flirted with his body as soon as he heard this, only Sasuke slowed down a little. Shimura Danzo smiled, with a gloomy smile. None of you want to run away. The black seal painted all over his chest sprayed countless inks in all directions, and Danzo, who felt that death was near, closed his eyes. Hiruzen, it looks like it's my turn this time, but unfortunately I didn't get to be Hokage until the end. No matter where you go, you can never catch up. You are the leaf that bathes in the sun, and I am the root that hides in the darkness. What do you think of me like this? I'm coming to you for an answer. Mokuden, Wood Style, Liberation. The end of the 4 elephant seals. Leave it all to the old man. Don't give up your life to activate the first generation cells. Danzo, who knew that he was going to die, became a desperado at the last moment, not only killing his own life, but also dying along with Tsunade, Naruto, Sasuke. The vines rising from the ground wrapped around the body like a poisonous snake, grabbed it and pulled it into the sprayed ink. It sounds very slow, but in fact it only took 2 seconds. Even if the second assistant who was the first to win the jackpot opened Susanoo, he still dragged the slip. A critical moment, Kekkei Genkei once again made a contribution. Mangekyo Amaterasu. After many years, Uchiha Senju's confrontation was staged again. Life and death, destruction and creation, 2 opposing energies collided violently. Shimura Danzo is not Senju Hashirama. Sasuke is also not Uchiha Madara. However, their current confrontation has a bit of the brilliance of the Valley of the End that day. This guy really is a lunatic. Back Senjutsunade next to him, let go of the restraints, and wiping his nose with a fluffy glow is all fear. If the reflection was not fast enough just now, and the impression in the memory was deep enough, I am afraid that this old guy would have been poisoned. Just 1 step away, Urzuzi, who was dragged into the seal by just 1 step, was sweating and his legs and feet were weak. Danzo was too ruthless at the end. The inside is like the seal, the same returning technique in the same returning technique. This is the secret method of the Uzumaki family, and what happened back then must have something to do with him. Resentful and complicated eyes, Tsunade let out a long sullen breath. The country of the vortex is too jealous, but who can blame this? To get to the bottom of it, it was still her grandfather. If it weren't for the power of the human Jinchuriki column, the countries would not have noticed Uzumaki's. It is because of the poor creatures like Naruto that the country of the vortex has become a thorn in the eyes of all countries. Now that the matter is over, seeing Danzo being swallowed up by trees after his death, Senju Tsunade really doesn't know whether to be happy or disappointed, and she doesn't even understand the complexity. The little devil of the Uchiha family, your eyes. Where's Naruto? Looking back coldly, He stared at Kyubi, Ninetales, with a bad expression, the second assistant who opened the Eternal Mangekyo, and was not at all afraid of this beast in the eyes of others. Kyubi, Ninetales, is irritated by this contemptuous look. With one tail, the surrounding tree poles are thrown out. It's this kind of eye again, this kind of look again, Uchiha. Where's Naruto? Another question. The voice lifted a little, and Ursukuko stepped towards Kyubi, Ninetales. The fox's eyes twitched and he groaned twice. Kurama withdrew from the sea of consciousness in a fit of anger, and kicked Naruto out with one kick. The huge fox's legs kicked back, and the screaming yellow-haired boy stumbled. Sasuke. The fox. You mean Kurama. It went back to sleep. Naruto, who was very happy to see his teammates, giggled while scratching his yellow hair. The two basic friends were working on the pair of eyes when Haruno Sakura, who was not interested, ran over, wiped her tears and rushed into Ursukuko's arms. Uzumaki Naruto's heart is full of cracks. Sasuke is the most annoying thing. Hate to die. Then just kill him. Forget this. Damn boy, don't you like that girl? Kyubi, Ninetales, who called Naruto in and closed the door with his two front paws folded together as a pillow, had a bad heart. Listen to the old man. Kill that Uchiha boy, that girl will definitely be yours. Really? Done. So sleepy, go to sleep. Good night brothers and sisters. Text chapter 297_death is also a big trouble. You have to believe in the experience of a 1,000-year-old fox. The first release of the interesting academy. You are 1,000 years old. Of course. Kyubi, Ninetales, widened his eyes like a cat scratching a mouse. Uzumaki Naruto's face darkened. Stinky fox, no matter how I look at you, you seem to be lying. Damn boy, is it good for the old man to lie to you? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about here, just kill that brat from the Uchiha family. He's my friend. Naruto slumped to the side, pulling his legs into the soft fur. Kyubi, Ninetales, the fox's eyes are green. Stay away from me, you idiot. Alright, anyway, Sasuke and Sakura are together. I might as well sleep here, out of sight and out of mind. Damn boy, get out of the way, old man, what if you fart? How can I fart, stinky fox? Stop talking nonsense. You don't fart, you still do less. You fart. Kyubi, Ninetales, felt his nose tingle when he remembered the video of Naruto drinking expired milk and Tenten bombarding the school building when he was a child. Years. Did the tail of the crane fart again today? I heard that the teacher smoked 8. Hey, it is rumored that the students in the same class as him have gone to buy masks. Shall we buy 2 as well? I see, okay. Hulula rushed to the clothing store to order all kinds of masks. Uzumaki Naruto's fart. All released flowers. The fart does not stink. The stinky fart does not make a sound. And the cereal fart stinks and squeaks. Thinking of the past days, this guy couldn't help but let out a few muffled laughter. Kyubi, Ninetales, the fox was even more depressed. Hurry up and die. As far as your mind goes, you go as far as you can. Sakura. Sasuke. Seeing each other again after many years, the boy and girl couldn't help but think of the past. The cold wind blew through the hair, and the pink yui dyed it towards the heart. How have you been all these years? It's time for me to go. Heihei168.com. Drops of coolness swept across her cheeks, and Haruno Sakura stretched out her hand lonely. Ursukuko paused slightly as she walked towards the shadow. Thank you. These 3 words again. Why do you have to leave? The boy who dragged Chengyun's call and couldn't return, found that Sasuke was leaving, and Naruto didn't dare to pretend to be a dead crab, so he got up and chased after him. The howling cold wind blew up Hunter's clothes, and a snow-white swan fell to the ground. Brother. Fu-kun. Stinky boy. 3 calls accompanied by cries descended from the sky. Liamong opened his mouth, and a touch of bitter joy poured into his heart. Those are the 3 pretty faces of pear blossoms with rain. Those are 3 smiles that have been turned over 1,000 times. Seeing them, He seemed to have a lot of words to say, but he didn't know how to say it. In the end, only Yuhi opened his hands with his eyes wide open. You bastard. Don't go anymore, okay? Don't leave me, brother. She opened her arms to embrace the tearful woman, Liamong enjoying the warmth while enduring the torture. Sister Anko, the way you express your love is always so peculiar. Stinky boy, you bastard. Aiming at the shoulder and biting hard, Anko, who saw the blood of the two little tigers Kiba, shed tears. It depends on whether you still run or not. You will remember me wherever you run in the future. Are you really biting? Gently wiping the Kiba seal of Shion Yuhi, Anko cried while wiping. Bite you to death, you little conscience, do you know how worried we are? Hey, I was wrong, I really know I was wrong. His hands behind his back and hugged Anko tightly into his arms. Tamari's big black and white eyes flashed a thick smile. Liamong was slightly stunned. Is it still not coming? I can't see clearly when you are close. I want to take a good look at you, so as not to forget you. She bit Silver Kiba lightly and shook her head. Princess Sunagakure seemed to want to engrave the flow into her heart. Hinata looked up. The little girl pursed her mouth for the first time, and Yuhi closed her eyes tightly. Good bloody love drama. You won't be jealous, will you? I'm jealous, I'll be jealous of him. Pushing his glasses arrogantly, Uzumaki Karen rolled his eyes at Shizune. That big bad guy really doesn't know what's good. If I were those women, I wouldn't answer him. Quote. Yo, what would I be if I were? Senior sister, you are bad. Sakura's fat face flashed a hint of teasing, and Shizune circled around Senju Tsunade. Shimura Danzo died, Gaara was banned, and the Five Shadows Conference was in trouble before it even started. Lee, are you sure we didn't go in the wrong direction? Rumble ran across the wilderness and stopped on the small dirt slope. Might Guy asked his disciple suspiciously. Lee Rock blinked in astonishment. Mr. Guy, don't I follow you all the time? Are you following me? Yeah, haven't I been following you all the time? So, Lee, is this really the way it is? Mr. Guy, youth is not allowed to deceive. His forehead and shedding big drops of cold sweat, Might Guy turned into an ancient stone statue in a blink of an eye. Mr. Guy, what's wrong with you, Mr. Guy? Lee, I have some very bad news for you, Master. What? Master seems to have lost his way again. Backhand stroked the watermelon head. Might Guy looked around blankly. Little Lee was startled and revealed joy. Mr. Guy, is this a new challenge? Aha, you're right, this is a new challenge. Let us master and apprentice run across this vast wilderness, and the 3 Wolf Mountains will definitely be found. Mr. Guy. Lee. Mr. Guy. Lee. Let's go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hands behind them, Might Guy and Lee Rock ran towards the sun one after the other. Maybe they will reach the Pacific Ocean tomorrow, cross the Arctic Ocean the day after tomorrow, and reach the Indian Ocean the day after tomorrow. As for where it will end up, only God knows. Lee, we've crossed the South Pole. Teacher Guy. Lee, we've crossed the North Pole. Teacher Guy. Lee, we've crossed the equator again. He aimed. Let our teacher Guy die. Karen, is there any way? It's very difficult. I need time. Putting Gaara's statue on the ground to check carefully, Uzumaki Karen pushed open the flat mirror and gave the answer. And Tamari's tight hearts let go a little, and then frowned again. How does this guy deal with it? The existence of Konkuro, Tamari, and Gaara is a threat to the village, and he must be eliminated. Teacher, you are in demonic illusion. No, this has nothing to do with demonic illusion. Gaara has to be dealt with, his presence is a threat. There are 2 more shifts, the cloud is working hard, and it's time to give gifts in the afternoon. Text chapter 298 impatiently smashing the table and then impatiently smashing the house. Danzo, you're a duck egg, and you won't let people take it easy when you die. Mobile reading is more convenient. m.heihei168.com. Boom. Poo-kun, you. Don't worry, Just stun him to save him trouble. A slap on the back of the head turned Maki upside down, and the speechless Liuman raised his eyebrows. Koto Amatsukami. The most disgusting ultimate demonic illusion in the Uchiha family, it doesn't get any more disgusting than this. Tsukuyomi of Uchiha Itachi can control time and space, and in Tsukuyomi space he is a god. But compared with Uchiha Shisui, it is 108,000 miles away. What is called strong annihilation, Uchiha Shisui's Mangekyo is called strong annihilation, directly annihilating the will of others. Unknowingly manipulate the minds of others at will, permanently changing the memory of others. One moment is still fighting for life and death, and the next moment can be loyal. Is there anything more terrifying than this? If it weren't for the 447 cooling time, it would not be an exaggeration to call it an invincible technique. Yi Gimaji won the jackpot. The teacher who led the 3 Gaara brothers and sisters, and the commander of the Sunagakure village fighting force, became the new victim of Koto Amatsukami. The headache is far more than that. The change of Maki is bound to affect the power tilt of Sunagakure village. Originally, Gaara was not favored by the senior management of the village. Without Maki, a strong backup, it would be tantamount to a major loss of foundation. The most terrible thing is that he can't kill him yet. Tamari and the others will never allow Liamong to do it. Even if they know it's poison, they have to swallow it. Trouble, big trouble. Karen, how long does it take to unlock Gaara's seal? 2 days and 1 night. If you want to unlock this sealing technique, you need to do a lot of trouble and complicated preparations. Let's list the list of materials. Let's get it. Interesting Academy. Liamong glanced at the black-red panda. As soon as possible, the time for the 5 Shadows conference is coming soon. What about Kazekage and Hokage? The bifurcated mustache poked upwards, and the 4th generation Reikage Yayui slammed the table again. What number is this? Omoy, you don't care what his first card is. This is not our village. Kurui, you can't say that. According to scientific theorem, destroying other people's finances many times will cause resentment. If resentment is caused, you will not be able to bear it. If you can't bear it, you will find a place to breathe. If you find a place to breathe, it will affect your health and your body. Healthy. Go and eat your lollipop. Is it disgusting for a big man to talk all day and night? I'm long-winded. Am I long-winded? Omoy touched the white hair unconsciously. Samui, am I really long-winded? Go away. The blonde and big breasts roared, and the eldest sister of Killer Bee's 3 apprentices widened her eyes. Ninjas should talk less and do more. It's better to just do and not talk, so as to be cold and cool enough, understand? Don't look like that. Women have to be gentle. Kurui, can you be called a woman too? According to scientific theorem, you must have been born with the wrong gender. Damn Niangpao, you fuck me. Men, you are not so fierce, you are a flat-chested. Washboard, airport, princess typing. Omoy, you're going to die for my mother. Yunliu Fujuan. Men, are you really playing? With a bang, the 2 knives collided, and the lollipop snapped off the half-laden Omoy, heartbroken. Kurui smiled, and her cannibal eyes kept spitting fire. These 2 idiots. The sound of ping-ping-pong fighting came from the room, and the beauty Jiaoda who was not far from here stretched her waist lazily. Ching, hurry up and let them stop. Mizukage-sama, after all, there are 2 villages. Are you going? Go. Seeing Terumi Mei's face suddenly turning black, how could the one-eyed dragon say nothing? As soon as he turned his head, he gave Chojuro a kick. Didn't you hear what Mizukage-sama said? Hurry up and shut up those guys. Yes, senior, let's go now. Ow! A coquettish shout clapped on the table. Terumi Mei pointed to the door with a black line on his face. Changjiro, stay. You can go by yourself, don't let the children do everything. Mizukage-sama, Chojuro is not too young. You mean I was wrong? This what? Don't hurry up. Yes. Extremely helpless, he stood at attention, and before leaving, the one-eyed dragon glared at Jiro Kanchan. As a senior, I was actually sent to do such a boring thing. I am a senior, do you understand? Seniors should support juniors, and juniors should listen to seniors. Chanjuro, you dead boy, wait for me, and I will kill you if I come back. Squeak pushed open the door and left the lounge. As soon as Ao, who had an onion-shaped brain, went out, he saw Tsuchikage and his two guards, Kuretsuchi, coming from the opposite side. The little girl Kurathashi has a quirky long head, Xiaomo has short hair that matches her ears, and she has a bun face like a hill, and her forehead is no more than half a finger from the roof of the shed. Looking at the 3 generations of Tsuchikage, if you put aside the age, it really looks like a baby just born between the two. 3-inch Ding, Dwarf, and Setback are his truest portrayals. Ching was watching. The 3rd generation of Tsuchikage didn't know what to do. Haha fell a somersault, and almost snatched Yuhi's nose off. Kurathashi immediately became anxious. Grandpa, what's wrong with you? Grandpa, get up quickly, Grandpa. It's a bird, terracotta. Grandpa is going to hang up. We're going to be a rookie, or let's run away. Kuretsuchi. Ah, Grandpa, you're all right, Grandpa. I knew that Grandpa would definitely do it. You let go first. Let go, and if you don't let go, Grandpa will hang up. Are you going to hang up, Grandpa? Are you really going to hang up, Grandpa? Oh, Grandpa, how can you hang up when you're swollen, Grandpa? A series of grandpas hit the forehead like a machine gun, and Qingfeng remained in place until the 3 of them walked out of the distance and remained there in a daze. Grandfather. I hate Grandpa. Ching, what are you doing standing at the door? Why don't you go to me quickly? The water cup that was thrown out burst into pieces, and the pirate captain quickly ran to the direction where Reikage and others rested. After slashing for a long time with real knives and real guns, Kurui and Omoi, who were out of breath, stopped. The 4th generation Reikage Damascus sat in the ruins, his eyes spitting out fire. What the hell is going on with Konoha and Sunagakur? Today is the 5th day. Asshole, bring me a new table, I'll keep smashing it. Boom. The 1st watch, the 7th watch today, is open. Text chapter 299_ you can hold back if you have an opinion. Sasuke. Baidu Interesting Academy. 2 strides pulled the tree pole and turned forward, and Uzumaki Naruto stopped Ursukuko. The rustling linfeng set off the fallen leaves, and the 2 young men, one black and one yellow, looked at each other from a distance. Go back. Why did you choose to leave? Naruto stared at Sasuke, and Ursuke raised his hand and tugged at the collar. There is only darkness in front of me, and there is no one to rely on for revenge. Sakura will be handed over to you in the future. Quote. But the person she really likes is you. Naruto turned around and grabbed his companion who was about to pass by. A look of anger flashed in Naruto's eyes. Urzuzi firmly pushed away the pull. I know, but I can't give her what she wants. In the dark, my future is not bright. For revenge, I have already risked everything. Is revenge so important to you? Naruto, you and I are different, and the paths we choose are different. I have no dreams in the future, and my dreams only stay in the past. Go back and take good care of Sakura. I'll help you. I said, I'll help you. Slowly looking back at her former sunny partner, Ursukuko's eyes suddenly changed color. What happened? Some so-called things. With his back against the tree pole, Naruto sighed, and Naruto reached out and grabbed a fallen leaf. The fallen leaves are somewhat withered and yellow, and there is a gap, which does not look beautiful at all. The only person Sakura likes from the beginning to the end is you. I don't want to make her sad. Sasuke, whether it's revenge or paying Konoha, I'll do it for you. But don't implicate innocent people. There is nothing in the world that is not innocent. I beg you, as a friend. Naruto looked at Sasuke firmly. Father, this is the last thing my son can do for you. Civilians are innocent. Don't take anger on others. You've changed. You won't be like this before. Sasuke also grabbed a leaf, and today's leaves seem to be ugly. Baidu Interesting Academy. Have I been stupid before? What do you say? Clenching his fist in the air, Naruto smiled at Sasuke. What about Sakura? She will choose to go with you. Maybe we should build a new village, just like the first generation and your ancestors. Naruto, you really don't look like you now. Glancing at his friend angrily, Uzumaki Naruto suddenly wanted to beat him. 3 days passed in a flash. Might Guy's cloak and snow ran to the Three Wolf Mountains. Before anyone arrived, the iconic loud voice shouted first. Ahahaha, Konoha 6th Hokage, the real Might Man with boundless love, the never-ending blue beast Might Guy is here Lee. Mr. Guy. Lee. Mr. Guy. Mifune-sama, is that the shadow of Konoha Hidden Village? Hi, my name is Might Guy. Before speaking, he was still at the foot of the mountain, and after speaking, he was in front of him. This guy with mental problems is very strong. Lord Hokage, please, I'm the general of the Iron Kingdom, Mifune, the 4th generation, Raikage, and the 5th Mizukage, who have been waiting for a long time. Aha, they're so early. Early, is this early? His forehead was full of black lines and he turned sideways, and Mifune really wanted to cut Guy with his knife. Shasha's footsteps came from afar, and suddenly looking back, a line of black shadows smashed through Feishui. Lord Kazekage. I'm very sorry for the delay of a few days to go out and fix something. Shimura Danzo. He's already dead. There was nothing to hide and no need to hide. Hearing Danzo's death, Mifune's face darkened instantly. Might Guy standing next to him wasn't much better. Anyway, that was the Hokage candidate nominated by Konoha Hidden Village. Who killed him? Me. Hua lifted the kabuto hat, and a familiar yet unfamiliar face shook her hair. Might Guy was stunned. Kill the old guy for my share. Another cloak was taken off, and the stunned crowd was surrounded. And me, and I have one too. Although this princess didn't do anything, it's still one. Senju Tsunade. How could it be her? What the hell is going on here? If the first 3 teenagers are just shocking, the last one is a breakdown. Maikwan, who was shocked to the point of death, tugged at his collar, and after being shocked to the extreme, he looked away. Why am I nervous? Please come in, distinguished guests. It's a big deal to let you demolish the house and replace it with a new one. The 5 Shadows Gathering talks started, and an extremely unfriendly atmosphere permeated the venue. The 5-color flag of wind, fire, water, soil and thunder hangs in the air, and 5 stone chairs under the flag form a semicircle. 5 generations of Kazekage, Gaara. 6 generations of Hokage, Might Guy. 5 generations Mizukage, Terumi Mei. 3 generations of Tsuchikage, 2-day scale Onoki. 4th Raikage, Night Moon Eye. A boy, a beast, a beauty, an old man, and finally a violent man with a bad temper. The 5 shadows in a half circle, you look at me, I look at you, no one likes it, and everyone wants to fuck the guy. 3 generations of Tsuchikage 2-day scales Onoki and the Kingdom of Water and the Kingdom of Thunder have a relationship, and Konoha is not much better. The 4th generation Raikage Yayui has a strong personality and has been preparing for battles in recent years, so naturally no one looks down on it. 5th generation of Mizukage Terumi Mei village was destroyed without help, and also hated the other 4. The 6th generation Hokage Might Guy is a newcomer. He has a history of resisting the invasion of the 4 major powers in the past, and naturally he has no good temper. The last 5 generations of Kazekage Gaara are good to talk about, but now they also have a quarrel with Konoha. All of them were angry, and all did not speak. From entering the door to sitting down, the 5 shadows, male or female, old or young, all became mute and silent, staring without speaking. 2 days, Anamu sneered at Yayui. At Might Guy. Might Guy looked at Gaara. Red Panda folded his hands and looked at Terumi Mei. According to the big beauty, she simply stared at the 4 of them viciously, and no one was bad, blowing incense and waxing. Bitter Turtles Mifune sat on the main seat, looked at this from the left, and looked at that from the right. The opening speech that was originally prepared was stunned and could not break a word. The 5 shadows are fighting against each other, and the rest area on the second floor is nowhere to be found. The most people came from Konoha, far exceeding the designated number, but the Kingdom of Iron did not dare to interfere. Not to mention the scourge of the dead wood, the fact that Senju Tsunade went to that station left them speechless. These people are the attendants of this princess, you can hold back if you have any opinions. 7th and 2, the cloud worked hard, squinted up and continued, aiming Wu. Text chapter 300 _ talks that turned into porridge before it even started. Domineering, arrogant, take it for granted. Interesting academy. Not that Liamong has never seen Tsunade Harry in the past, but it was only today that he understood just how big this ant was. Compared with her, where is he? There are opinions. Look at what these words say, how domineering and powerful, I have to do the same in the future. The power of role models is infinite, and without knowing it, Senju Tsunade stared down at him. The 5 shadow hearts, who were fighting a grudge, felt something, and raised their heads one by one. Look at what this princess does, what you should do, this princess is here to watch the show. Brushing his fixed eyes, Tsunade made people angry with just one sentence, and the 3rd generation Tsuchikage snorted and turned his head. I didn't expect the chattering slug princess to be alive to this day. You're not dead, how could this princess take the first step? This is the 5 shadow talks, what are you doing here if you don't belong to any village? The scenery of the Iron Country is beautiful. This princess is here to enjoy the snow, do you have any opinion? Enough. Bang. With a fist smashing the stone table, the 4th generation Hokage suddenly stood up. I don't care about the mess between you. That kid over there, you are Uchiha Sasuke, where is the shadow guard, let me catch him. What trouble, Lord Hokage is angry. Ninjas don't need nonsense, Omoi executes orders, understand. Let's go, Captain, we're enough to deal with a kid from the Uchiha family. Don't underestimate him. A folded machete appeared in his pupils, and Samui said strangely, Tarui, when did you take the initiative to draw a knife when you were not motivated? No way, who asked Hokage-sama to speak? Although I really want to sleep, it's better to deal with him first. Tarui, with white hair, a big knife, bangs covering his left eye, and a dark brown skin with a tattoo of the word thunder engraved on his left shoulder, walked slowly to the front. As the sole successor of 3 generations of Hokage Black Raiden, Thunder style, he has a very high status in the village of Kumogakure. Sasuke, what the hell did you do? My business is none of your business. Hey, now we are companions, okay. Your business is mine. After a moment of silence, Fuziko said in Naruto's puzzled eyes, I killed their Killer Bee Jinchuriki column force. Toad. You. The left looked at Kumogakure, whose face was blue and black, and the right looked at his friend next to him, Uzumaki Naruto Sparta. Your sister, it's so cruel to use it, it's too human, it's too deadly. Sir Hokage. Shut up Lao Su if it's not thunderous. Lao Su will execute him now, what are you waiting for? Let Lao Su do it right away. Yunliu Fujuan. Yunliu Lijian. Cloud Flow Knife Flash. Return our master's life. 3 ninja knives, 3 directions, Omui with a lollipop in his mouth stuck to the ground and went straight to his legs. Kurui with fiery hair jumped up in the air and went straight to his forehead, and the electric sword cut straight at the center of the card. Ruyi's chest trembled. Look at them, those 2 groups of fat are really big. Hu-kun, what's big? Nothing big. Stinky boy, you are not good. Brother. Farewell, Enko, let go of your hand first. If you don't let go, I'm angry, I'm really angry. Brat. Enko pinched Liamong's waist and Liamong took out Enko's chest, and shouted, Hinata Tamari come to block, don't let other people take advantage, this is my wife. You bastard, when are you going to be serious? Serious, what's wrong with me, eating my wife's tofu is not serious. This is a big task to pass on the 8th classics. What are you looking at? Hurry up. Raiden Thunder Style, 5-finger flow. The 5 electric Jinchuriki column that came from the top shot to the front through the gap in the shadow, and Karui shouted angrily, "Don't do these dangerous actions, we are enough." Die. With 3 slashes, Susano, who was as purple and black as ink, blocked everything. Ridiculous attack, in front of these cursed eyes, you're nothing but child's play. Bastard, what are you talking about? Yumli Ulixia 3 flashes. The blade that was dyed with lightning flashed a divine flower like the dawn of the dawn, and it was 3 strokes. The second assistant didn't move, not even his eyes, because he didn't need it at all. Karui was stunned when the blade snapped lightly in his hand. What happened? Today is not the time to start. I need to confirm some things. If you don't want to die, leave me. Cut, that Sasuke guy is still as stinky as before. Won't you help? Shino, do you care about him anymore? Companions after all. Just him. Inazuka Kiba glanced at Ursukuko and shook his head. I never thought of him as a companion. Whoever caused the trouble will solve it, let's not get involved. Okay. He should be silent for a while. Reikage, who was watching the battle below, became impatient and turned on his elbow. Death to Lao Su. Raiden Thunder Style, Recurrent Storm. The elbow tip protruding forward slammed into the dark mechanic Gundam, and countless debris fell from the rumbling conference room. Si Ying, who didn't move his nest, turned dark, and 10,000 grass and mud horses ran out of his heart. Take him. Hey, are you bullying people by doing this? Even if there is something wrong with Sasuke, you shouldn't be. Go away boy, or I'll cut you with me. The broken blade that almost opened his chest slid across his chest, and Naruto swallowed his saliva and retreated to the side. Kyuubi Ninetails, who was lying in the spiritual sea, was angry. Can you be careful, you bastard? If you die here, this old man will be very troublesome. Kurama, thank you for your concern, I'm fine. Fart, the old man will care about you. Like a cat stepping on its tail. It didn't matter that Kyuubi Ninetails the fox was angry. That breath is a tailed beast. Stronger than the master. Kyuubi Ninetails people Jinchuriki column force. The spirit body roars through the seal. As soon as the aura of Kyuubi Ninetails demon fox came out, all the others were stunned except for those who knew the truth. 6th Hokage, what are you doing with such a dangerous thing? Etc. What's the matter? Half of the eyes are bloody Yuhi, and half of the eyes are blue. Uzumaki Naruto's state at this time is like a hammer in Raiko's hand, and a chisel in Dienmu's hand. You can actually control Kyuubi Ninetails. On the 7th day of the 3rd, the cloud continues to work hard, and Happy Christmas Eve.